One day, my day! One day, my day! We get better, better! We get better, better! We can't beat me! We can't beat me! Won't beat me! Won't beat me! Let's go!
Welcome to Commonwealth Stadium and ICU Video's live stream presentation of the Edmonton Metro Athletic High School Senior Football City Championship in the GILFILLAN division. Tonight, the LaZerte Voyageurs take on the Fort Saskatchewan Sting. Good evening, football fans. I'm Kevin Donnan, and I'm pleased to be calling tonight's action alongside the coach, John Belmont. And tonight is, of course, the City Championship in the GILFILLAN Conference. Coach, what are we expecting tonight? There's a lot of talent on this field.
There is. Fort Saskatchewan has got a lot of power both in their fronts and in their backfield, whereas LaZerte has speed. And I think it's just going to be a power game against speed.
And that's going to be the ultimate matchup, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now, a couple of days ago, ICU Video had a chance to sit down with the players and coaches from each team to talk about the strengths of each opponent. Let's see what they're up against tonight.
Sask is a pretty rounded team. They seem like they're pretty veteran. They seem to have players that we saw last year. Their quarterback is a tall, strong-looking kid. Good arm on him. When he needs to run, he can take off and go with it. Obviously, number 27, I believe his name is Callum. Something is, one of the top running backs in the league this year. He was voted their most valuable player, and he's going to be our contention. If we can't stop the run, it's going to be a long day for us.
They have two really good receivers right now. Number 14 is really fast, and he runs fly really well, and he's a really good receiver. So we had a success shutting him down last time, and that's the plan again this time. They have some pretty big linemen on the line, so running up the middle is going to be a problem. But and throwing, they have a couple good DBs, so we got to worry about that too.
They got a big defense. They played the pass against us last time very well. Obviously our turnovers hurt us in the long run, but I think that going to this game, we're all pretty ready for it, and I think that our team has just been improving more or less, so I think that we should be up for a good challenge here.
They have a few really talented guys on offense. Their defense has some big guys for sure. That being said, I have a lot of faith in our team and our ability to go out there and compete with them. But yeah, we have to be athletic. They're going to be athletic, so let's go out there and play our game. It'll be okay.
We also had the opportunity to talk to the players and coaches about tonight's keys to victory. Let's hear from them.
I think if we can get them throwing, I think we'll be all right. If we get them throwing, I think a few changes we've made this last 2 weeks on defense will make a big change in the outcome of the game if we can get them out of their run game. I think offensively, obviously not turn the ball over. I mean, that's a big thing this time of year. We didn't do that in the two games against St. Joe's and Beaumont in the playoffs. We don't turn the ball over. Our offense, I think our offense is just, the last 3 or 4 games have really, they're on fire. They're a pretty dynamic offense, I think, for our division we're playing in right now. I think they can play with anybody in our division, our offense. Our defense, we're young. But if we can stop the run, our offense doesn't turn the ball over, we'll be all right. We'll compete.
We're going to get the run game going with Parker, make sure he's running strong in the middle, and then also make sure we get quick passes that are actually caught. So we've had a lot of success this year throwing the ball, but it needs to get caught early to set a good tempo.
I think that we're going to have to stay strong the whole game. It's not just going to be an easy win for us. We have to score points to keep scoring. Turnovers, again, are going to hurt us a lot, so we need to keep the ball on the offensive side all game.
I think personally, I have to be on top of my game. I have to rush well and be aware of everything, be aware of my surroundings. Our offensive line needs to play the way that they've been playing recently. And then, other guys like our quarterback, Brennan, they're going to make plays. Our receivers are going to make plays. We have a lot of really talented guys on this team. So our game would just be, run the ball as good as we can, open up the pass game, and from there we should be okay.
And finally, let's hear what the coaches and players think about being the first teams in the GILFILLAN Conference to play in Commonwealth Stadium for the City Championship.
Yeah, the kids are pumped about that. Some of our guys played there last year in the spring with the Seahawks, And I think they're kind of spreading the word to the rest of the guys. And I think everybody's pretty pumped about being at Commonwealth. I'm trying to keep it low-keyed, trying not to pump it too much. It's a catch-22. You want them to be excited about it, but not take them out of their game.
We have a good group of veterans right now, so they know how to play in a good situation. So I think they're excited about it, but I don't think it will affect us too much.
Honestly, it was like a dream, you know. We didn't really think that, we thought like, hey, there's a chance to get there, but like it was like, oh, we're so far away, and so we never really thought about that. But then when we heard they were playing, the teams we were playing in playoffs, and we ended up beating them, and then we played St. Joe's and beat them, played Beaumont, beat them. We're like, oh wow, like we're actually going here. So, you know, it's given us a little bit of more like aggression to come out strong and play hard, because it's in front of a lot of people at a big stadium. So I think we're pretty ready for that.
I think a lot of guys know what an experience it's going to be. That being said, it's nerve-wracking, obviously, playing where all the pros play, stuff like that. Guys who are in grade 10 perhaps could be a little shaken up, because first year playing football for a lot of them. It's going to be quite an experience, but myself and other vets around the team are super pumped for this game. So.
And of course, we want to thank the players and coaches of the Voyageurs and the Sting for participating in these interviews, because this is an exciting night playing at Commonwealth Stadium. And now let's turn things over to our public address announcer for today's player introductions and the national anthem. But in the meantime, let's have a chance. Before we get to that, Coach, let's talk a little bit about this game. Fort Saskatchewan comes into this one in what has to be one of the most remarkable records in football history. The Sting had a perfect regular season at 4-0. You can do that. But you shut out they have not given up a point in a regular season game or a playoff game. You've been coaching for a little while. When was the last time you ran into a team that never gave up a point?
Never. And the interesting thing about this is, again, you look at Fort Saskatchewan, they've got tremendous power, good size. All right, their fronts are very strong, their linebackers are strong. You look at LaZerte, everything's speed. So now, is that strength going to be able to control the speed, especially of number 14 for LaZerte, who they use an awful lot, and from the slot position, whether it's a fly or whether running plays or throwing to him. So it's going to be interesting. It's a nice record to have, but when you come in here, it's a whole different ballgame.
Isn't that the truth? In playoff football, you can, of course, as you've discovered, anything can happen in high school football. But for now, let's send things down onto field level for today's player introductions and the national anthem.
The game features the home team, Fort Saskatchewan Sting, and the visitors, LaZerte Voyageurs. We will now introduce the players for the LaZerte Voyageurs. Number 2, London Larrett. Number 4, Amar Darwish. Number 5, Matt Olivo. Number 6, Mo Almokadad. Number 7, Jake Chomchuk. Number 8, Josh Kinoshita. Number 9, Ryan Zwing. Number 10, Dylan Howard. Number 12, Jack Gavin Miniak. Number 14, Jemani Watkis. Number 15, Jaden Dimichikowski. Number 16, Tyler Keddy. Number 17, Alex Majorsmith. Number 18, Jess Hartley. Number 22, Nathan Redford. Number 23, Isaiah Filius. Number 27, Crispin Schmidt. Number 28, Regan Wilson. Number 31, Davin Reeve. Number 33, Christian Steifel. 38, Wyatt Blankenshop. Number 39, Julian Schlochter. Number 40, Benny Ahmed. Number 44, Moses Wameshi. Number 46, Rob Benton. Number 48, Gino Morazzo. Number 50, Ralph Henry. Number 51, Eduardo Cabrera. Number 54, Michael Shimko. 55, Keith Ross. 55, Skylar Cook. 56, Mike Fortier. 59, Robbie Issa. Number 60, Sam Garmendez. Number 61, Taylor Lanigan. 62, Christopher Sturm. 65, Connor Pollock. 66, Ishak Soufli. Number 67, Akashdeep Randhawa. 71, Matt Crockett. 80, Trevor Stewart. 82, Anil Stevens. 84, Teron Fiddler, and number 85, Taylor Baines. Head coach Ryan Lyken and the rest of his staff. Now introducing the players for the Fort Saskatchewan Sting. Number 4, Donovan Vibert. Number 7, Logan Marriott. Number 11, Riley Waite. Number 12, Brennan Hamill. 14, Cale Anderson. 19, Chase Pouliot. 20, Nate McKay. 22, Christian Hannigan Earl. 25, Avery Lacosta. 27, Parker Cullum. 29, Connor Buckler. 34, Callum Sturmer. 36, Foster Jurkowitz. 37, Josh Wright. 38, Andrew Paholka. 52, Tyler Harder. 53, Zach Labe. 59, Matthew McKay. 60, Dylan Billard. 63, Clinton Gray. 65, Liam Vargas. 80, Austin Materi. 82, Nate Atsuji, high school, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And welcome once again to Commonwealth Stadium. Tonight, the LaZerte Voyageurs take on the Fort Saskatchewan Sting in the City Championship in the GILFILLAN Conference, and both teams are going to gather at midfield for the coin flip, determine which team will kick off, which team will receive. We're so glad you're here along with us, and want to thank Lauren Mercer for that beautiful rendition of O Canada. Of course, make sure you get out and honor our veterans this weekend for Remembrance Day, and that was a wonderful rendition of the anthem. Here we have the Fort Saskatchewan Sting in white, the LaZerte Voyageurs in the familiar green and gold, but those aren't the Eskimos. The Eskimos are in Winnipeg this weekend, John Belmont, as playoff football is everywhere in our country.
Well, it sure is, and these boys are getting ready for what will be the biggest game of their career. And playing in Commonwealth Stadium, what could be better?
I was just going to say, for these athletes, how big of a thrill is it to play in this? I mean, this stadium has hosted Universiade, it's hosted the Commonwealth Games, the World Track and Field, Grey Cups, and hey, the best franchise in the CFL. How big of a thrill is it for these athletes to play in this arena, if you will?
I think it was big up until kickoff. Once kickoff, it's just a football game. You'll be playing on a pasture. It won't make any difference to them. They love to play the game. But before the game and after the game, it will be big.
Absolutely.
Interesting thing tonight, they've got a very good official out there in Brendan Murphy, number 12, the head referee. Looks like a veteran crew. So it's nice to see them putting a good crew out here with these young fellas. No wind at all in the stadium, so in this stadium it can swirl, can really cause problems. Passing game should be able to go. The field is in good shape with footwork. They should be just fine.
And temperature right now is at about -9, so that's a manageable. I mean, for November in Edmonton playing football, -9 is kind of okay.
Well, kind of okay, and with no wind coming down the field, it makes a tremendous difference. So for these young men, it's just going to be a blast to get out there and play.
And of course, these two teams were the cream of the crop in Pool A in the Gilfillan Conference. Fort Saskatchewan, of course, comes into this game undefeated, 4-0 in the regular season. Of course, LaZerte finished with an impressive 3-1 record. And as we talked about in the opener, this is a strength versus speed matchup, and we're going to get a sense of what kind of speed the Sting have right off the bat, as LaZerte will kick things off to begin the ball game. For 28, Regan Wilson will handle the kickoff for LaZerte.
For the Sting. Okay, if you take a look at it now, we've got kickoff.
Check that for the Sting, yes.
And
there he goes, Sting in green. There's the kickoff. Handled at about the 20-yard line. Straight up the middle, and he's got room to midfield. And a nice return for the Voyageurs. That's what we talked about, John, off the start, was the speed factor. And LaZerte will begin right at their 50-yard line.
The nice thing about this was, if you see it on the replay now from the end cut, you see the hole open up in the middle. He catches the ball and he comes straight up the field. Now, if you look at this one LaZerte fella looking behind him, if he'd have just got up and made the block on that fella, there could have been a bigger play.
And there's the key to the Voyageur offense. That's number 14, Jemani Watkins, taking the handoff around the left side, positive yardage and a big first down into Sting territory. And John, you mentioned off the top, the Voyageurs want to get the ball into the hands of Watkins.
They sure do. They run that fly pretty well. That ended up as an off-tackle play, and now we'll see what they come back with on their second play.
London LaZerte out of the shotgun, looks right. He's going to swing it out, but that pass will fall incomplete. Pass intended for number 5, the running back, Matt Olivo.
What they were trying there, Kevin, was a bubble screen to the back. They had the 3 receivers down, getting good blocks on the secondary, which would have put the Sam background. You see him there. They're getting ready for the blocks, and he drops the ball.
Second and 10 Voyageurs from the Fort Saskatchewan 53-yard line. Following the incomplete pass, here's LaZerte out of the shotgun. Now he'll go left, he'll take a look, and he will take the ball, and that's a loose football. Literally lost the handle on the football, John. And of course, as you mentioned, field conditions are one thing. The field is fine, but it's the football that's that may cause some problems.
Watch what happens on the end of this. Now, he comes down. He will drop the ball. He's holding the ball loose. There he drops it. Now watch what happens. He kicks this ball, I believe. Yes, he kicked it with his foot. It goes out of bounds. Now, I don't know if before he kicked it, it was out. If that's kicked out of bounds, it should have been LaZerte's ball at that point. What the officials, I think, are saying is he tapped it out with his hand and then kicked it.
And forced it out.
That's right.
So here's Fort Saskatchewan now on offense. Hand things off up the middle. And the ball carrier stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Quarterback number 12, Brennan Hamill.
Number 12, Brennan Hamill.
Number 27.
Handing off to number 27, Parker Cullum. Now, Parker Cullum, much like Watkins, they're going to run the offense through him, John.
They will, and he is their back. But also, you've got to watch out for the quarterback. Hamill's a big young man, and he can go some. This was well defended by LaZerte, as you can see him playing off the blocks, make the tackle.
Second and about 9, and that pass falls incomplete. That pass intended for number 25, Avery Lacusta. That pass will fall incomplete. And the Sting go quickly 2 and out, and will now be kicking that football. And the Voyageurs, of course, field position is going to be critical tonight, John.
It will be critical. This time of year, of course, the ball gets hard, so you've got to hang on to the ball. Now, LaZerte fumbled it. There, that ball was overthrown, and that might have been a little bit because the ball was a little hard. I'm not sure.
Nice kick out to midfield. Here come the Voyageurs now. Far sideline, and a good open field tackle along the far side.
Number 20.
Number 24, the Sting, with the tackle on that one.
That was a very good low tackle, which is what you want to do in these conditions. You tackle people high, lots of times they can slip off on you. But you tackle low and wrap up those legs, they're not going anywhere.
Nate McKay with the nice tackle, number 20, the linebacker and running back. Now the Voyageurs start 1st and 10 inside Sting territory with 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Here's Watkins now around the right side. He's got room down to the 30-yard line. We're going to guess. We can't see the numbers. It's difficult to pick up the numbers on the field, but that is a first down for the Sting.
About a 15-yard gain, and here's that fly action again. They got enough of a block on the outside to get him around, and he's got very good speed, and he uses it there.
And as you mentioned, field conditions not a factor. He turned the corner with relative ease. Well, here's LaZerte now. 1st and 10, ball on the move. Here's the Voyageurs. Handoff now, straight up the middle for Olivo, and he'll pick up about 4 on that one.
On that play, just a quick handoff, but if you notice, they didn't get up to the linebackers, and the defensive front of the front 3 kept the center and the tackles off of the linebackers, enabled them to make that tackle with ease.
Sting go out of a base 3-4 with Donovan Vibert, Tyler Harder, and Foster Jurkowitz. Here's LaZerte now rolling out and to the sideline, and it's caught. And very close to a first down. That pass caught by number 14, Jermaine Watkins. Very close to a first down.
Yeah, a little roll action, very well blocked. He just didn't quite get the depth. I think he's about a half yard short. They are going to measure, so it might be closer than we think.
And we're going to have fun following Jermaine Watkins all over this field because they literally line him up everywhere, John. They use him at tailback. They'll put him in the slot. They'll even put him out wide. So Watkins is one of those guys that they want to get the ball in space.
Exactly, and a back like that, as they say in the game of football, if you got a big gun, shoot it. And he is the big gun.
That's right.
And you want to get it in his hands as much as you can. He did get the first down there. So
that is a big first down just inside the 10-yard line. So check that, just inside the 15. We'll call it the 14-yard line where the Voyageurs will be 1st and 10. And maybe it looks like the Voyageurs knocking on the door could be setting a record here by being the first team this season to score on the Sting.
Well, the one thing is now what.
Here's LaZerte now. Fake handoff twice, and he calls his own number around the right side. Good pursuit by the Sting. That's number 34. Kalen Sturmer with the tackle here on the near side. Good pursuit by the linebacker.
Excellent pursuit there. He wanted to throw that ball. If you notice, they lost 2 yards on it. Now they can play a little differently. They brought linebackers on that play, put pressure up front right away. As LaZerte is trying to throw the ball, get it out to Watkins or whoever, they want to get pressure on him, force him to get rid of the ball early.
Here's 2nd and 13. Here's LaZerte rolling left, looking, and firing into the end zone. Touchdown, Voyageurs!
Number 84, a good route, a real fine pass by LaZerte.
Great pass by LaZerte. That's Taryn Fiddler, number 84, 17-yard touchdown. And as you mentioned, it's a speed game, and Fiddler got away from the coverage, got in the open, and 6 points just like that, John.
And that's what happened. You get these defensive backs, especially if they're not used to a passing game. A lot of these young defensive backs will get caught looking back at the quarterback, and that's what happened there. So the receiver was able to get a little more depth. And then the defender tried to go up, and he couldn't get up enough to tip the ball.
And the extra point is good with 7:50 to go in the opening quarter. The LaZerte Voyageurs have struck first and lead this football game 7-0. And of course, John, we want to extend our thanks to all of these fans who've shown up here tonight. It's about -10, but we've got a great crowd here at Commonwealth, and I want to congratulate you and our colleague Dave Rozak for the outstanding coverage of the miles and car championships. You guys did a wonderful job, and you had a lot of fun with both of those games.
We certainly did. Of course, high school football is a blast to cover. Something special about it. A lot of these young guys, for some of them, this is their first year of football. For some of them, it's their last year of high school football and their last year of football. So you know when they get to this part of the season, they're giving it everything they've got.
Voyageurs now Bouncing kickoff right at the middle, fielded at about the 30. Here's the Sting now with room. But that's Watkins right there, number 14 with the tackle. Good return out to the Fort Saskatchewan 50-yard line, and the Sting will start their second offensive series. Good return by Fort Saskatchewan.
Good return, and again, when you see it on the replay, the ball is kicked low. Hard to set up your coverage down here, so gives him a time to break up there. And if he'd have got by Watkins, he was going to get a heck of a return. It was a very good tackle by Watkins.
Brendan Hamill at quarterback hands the ball off to number 27. That's Parker Cullum in a 9-yard. Call it almost a 10-yard gain, and it is a 10-yard gain for Cullum, number 27, into LaZerte territory.
Now, when you look at this in the replay, this is well blocked. He comes off tackle, and you notice how he gets upfield and he lowers that shoulder. He is going to gain yards. Low, hard runner. We've seen this with him previously in semifinals and quarterfinal action.
Here's Hamill now out of the gun. Hands off again to Cullum. Straight up the middle. Pickup of about 4 on the play. Tough sledding through there is number 48 of the Voyageurs with the tackle. Also in on the tackle, Chris Sturm, number 62, from the defensive tackle spot. And as we talked about, Hamill not afraid for a big guy, not afraid to run the ball either, and he's a tough guy to bring down. Here he is out of the shotgun, pitch right to Cullum. He's got room on the outside. Here he goes, here's Cullum, down to the 20, 15, and down to the 10-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle on the far side by the Voyageurs. The big guy's got some speed, John.
He's got some speed and a real nice job blocking on the edge here. If you watch this on the replay, if we get it on the replay, he comes around the edge and he's clean. It looked to me like he stumbled a little at the end, or he was going to be in for a touchdown. Very well blocked also by the wide receiver on that side for the Fort Saskatchewan. Kept the corner out of the play.
First and goal to goal now. Handoff up the middle. Ball carrier taken down at just right at the 5-yard line.
That was to the fullback, Jurkowitz, and again, he was running a little high on that. You want to get a little lower as you're driving in, but he did get 3 yards.
Jurkowitz gets behind the pads, as they say, and bowls his way for 3. So it's second and goal to go here from about the 4-yard line. Hamill now out of the gun, pitch left. Now cutting back is Cullum into the end zone, touchdown! Parker Cullum, number 27. He set up the drive. You might as well cap it off, and boy, did he do a great job.
He did a nice job on this. You watch the toss and he reads it. He sees overflow, he cuts it right back up the field, get the touchdown.
Now that's not the kind of patience you typically see from a high school player. He showed a lot of patience, waited for the blocks, found the hole and went.
I suspect that's how they've coached it and they've practiced it that way. Teams today are shutting down a lot of toss plays by really flowing hard. So the way you defeat that is just cut it back.
Great run by Cullum. Here's the extra point, and it is good. Little malfunction at the junction, but got that one up in the air, and we have a tie ball game as the Sting have answered back, and we've got a tie here, 7-7 with 5:10 to go. And of course, this is the GILFILLAN Conference City Championship, and named for Jim GILFILLAN. And John, when you talk about great coaches and classy guys, Jim GILFILLAN's at the top of that list.
Absolutely. All the years he coached, from his time starting at East Glen and over to Scona, the many years there, and then ended his coaching career at McNally. A class act. Players who played for Jim loved him. He's a phenomenal motivator and got the best out of all his players.
And you've coached with him and against him. And when you played against a GILFILLAN team, it was a long afternoon.
It could be, yes.
There's the onside kick. The Sting try it, but it doesn't go the required 10 yards. So there will be a flag for an illegal kickoff, I guess, in this case, as it didn't travel the required 10 yards. Went about 8 and got and started to spin a little bit.
And this is where LaZerte will take that. They get the option, and they'll take the ball at about their minus 53-yard line, which is a very good position.
A bit surprised at the onside after the, like, are you surprised that that the Sting would come out and try that?
Not necessarily surprised at it, surprised how it came off the foot. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted it over that front part of the line.
Here's number 2, London LaZerte. Tie ball game, 5 minutes to go. Here's the jet sweep around the left side. That's number 84, Taryn Fiddler, who's got the touchdown for LaZerte. They try the sweep around that left side. He picks up about 3.
Now, the interesting thing about that is Fort Saskatchewan had him in the backfield, Kevin, and he just kept his legs going and kept fighting for that 2 to 3 yards. And you know, that's what you want football players to do. That could very easily have been a 2-yard loss.
2nd and 7 now, Voyageurs. Of course, Voyageurs in white, Sting in green. And now LaZerte now is going to roll left. Throws that same pattern that went for a touchdown, and this one's complete. Same target. Nearly the same result, but it's a big first down for Taryn Fiddler along that far sideline, John.
Well, you see the 4 right, but that was 14.
Check that out, was Jamini.
Jurkowitz, and you know, he just made a real nice catch out there. Had to go up for the ball. Excellent catch. And again, well blocked for quarterback LaZerte. It was just, I thought, a wonderful job out there by LaZerte.
1st and 10 from around the 45. There's a quick slant up the middle. And that's a first down for the Voyageurs into Sting territory. So LaZerte is doing exactly what they've done all year, John, and that is throw the football.
They're throwing, and they're doing a nice job with it. A quick drop, get the ball back, and this is to Fiddler. Now, Fiddler looks like he's dinged a little on this down there, but
Fiddler took a pretty good
yeah,
shot.
When it's cold, you feel it a lot more.
It does hurt a little bit more.
There's not a lot of give in artificial turf to begin with. In this field turf, like any other, when you go down, you're going to feel it. It's hard.
Of course, this is the final game of the Edmonton City Championships in football. Of course, earlier the Harry Ainlay Titans want to congratulate the Titans for their win over Belrose, and of course in the Miles Conference, our shared alma mater, the Skona Lords, defeated Paul Kane. So we want to congratulate, well, really all the teams throughout the Metro Athletic conferences for their seasons, especially these champions, and we're going to crown a champion tonight. That's Taryn Fiddler, number 84, who was shaken up on that first down, but the Voyageurs are 1st and 10.
Just a very good, very well executed play by LaZerte. And again, it's what we talked about, Kevin. We're looking at the speed of LaZerte against that power of Fort Saskatchewan. It makes for a tremendous game.
Here's London LaZerte now out of the shotgun. Empty backfield. Motion goes right. LaZerte goes right and throws. And there's Watkins with taking a big hit. That's number 25, Avery Lacusta, delivering a blow like Ken Lacusta. A big shot.
There are these Lacustas are related
is that right?
to Kenny.
Is that right?
Down the road, yeah.
Okay.
But, we've had Lacustas playing junior football out of Fort Saskatchewan. They're another family. I'll tell you what, they can play football, and they are known to be hitters.
5-yard pickup on the play. Here's LaZerte again, rolling right. Spots right. Good catch along the sideline. Watkins with a beautiful athletic play here on the near sideline. Keeps his feet in bounds and keeps this drive going.
And again, you look at this, what he did on the other side. Look at him get up in the air and kept his feet in. Excellent pass, excellent catch. Hard to defend that.
19-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line now. Voyageurs just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Tie ball game, 7-7. There's a handoff straight up the middle. Good work by the O-lineman there to move the pile forward. That's number 55, Skylar Cook, the left tackle. He just got in there and decided to move Matt Olivo and the running back, and decided, you know what, I'm going to get this an extra couple of yards.
The other thing is, Olivo, he keeps his feet moving. Watch this. Now he just keeps those feet moving. He doesn't stop, and that's what you need to do. The help from his lineman, that's excellent. They used to call that a tandem buck. It used to be illegal.
2nd and 7 here now. Here's LaZerte, empty backfield, rolls right again. Looking. Stops, pops, and throws, and what a catch! Right down the middle. That is Alvio with the catch out of the backfield. Good concentration by the young man in traffic, and a pretty good throw by LaZerte.
The best part of that play is the concentration of Alvio. Now, LaZerte comes out. He's getting pressure from inside. He sees the receiver, and I don't think that's who he was going to. I think he was going to this crossing wide receiver coming from the outside in. But it kind of tipped a little, and Alvio did a great job concentrating for the first down.
First and goal to go. Voyageurs looking to build, looking to break this thing open. Here's Watkins now. Inside, right down to the goal line. Touchdown! Voyageurs, Watkins with the carry. 4 yards up the middle, and Watkins made it look easy.
Now, if you remember, the very first offensive play for the Voyageurs, this is the fly sweep. It's exactly what he did. He broke a tackle there. He had a defender free to make the tackle. He broke it and turned right up the field and fought it in for the touchdown. Excellent job by Watkins.
LaZerte to attempt the point after here with 1:22 to go in the first quarter. And we talked about the defense of Fort Saskatchewan. What's going through their minds right now, John, is as LaZerte has had 2 very productive drives that have resulted in touchdowns. You've coached a lot of teams. When you're at that undefeated level and you're on that serious roll, you give up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. What does that do to the psyche of your team?
Well, it depends on the team. Now, depending on how they've been coached, there's a very good possibility that these coaches will just settle these guys down. Let's just get out and play our game. We can get the job done. Eventually, with a passing game like that, they're going to force turnovers. So we just have to be confident. If you have an inexperienced coaching staff, they can get riled up a little bit. Things aren't going good, and that uncertainty now carries over to the players. I suspect from what I've seen of this coaching staff at Fort Saskatchewan and knowing a couple of coaches on there, I think they'll just be fine, and they're going to do what they do and try to drive it down the field, get it in the end zone the other way.
Here's the kickoff for LaZerte, up 14-7, 1:22 to go. Glad you're along with us here on this ICU video live stream coverage of the GILFILLAN City Championship. Good return by the Sting out to their 49-yard line. And you know what we always say, John, that pressure either bursts pipes or creates diamonds. And Fort Saskatchewan, if they can't stop LaZerte, they're going to start feeling the pressure soon. So we'll see what they do on offense.
It could very well be, and this is the thing you want to look at. And the one thing about LaZerte that you've seen so far, they're more the multi-dimensional team from Fort Saskatchewan. Fort Saskatchewan is.
Here's Hamill now with the handoff to Cullum. Cullum looking for an opening. Good pursuit by the LaZerte defense. That's number 22. Nathan Redford out of the safety position, and he just fills the hole here, John.
I'm sure they're keying on Parker Cullum. I mean, he is a very good back, but when they see him off that handoff, they're going to bring that safety down hard, and he probably is not in the blocking scheme for Fort Saskatchewan, so he'll end up free.
Second and long, Fort Saskatchewan. Here's Hamill now. The big fella rolling right. Good pass. Finds his man open. First down yardage, and now into LaZerte territory. And a big first down for the Sting.
Very well executed play. Quarterback gets the ball off nicely. But you watch here, his little play action. Gets it out. And right there, you know, you got nice blocking. And then that's the thing that's important. Really well executed play.
Pass complete to the big fullback. That's Foster Jurkowitz, and the Sting are in Voyageur territory. Here's the pitch left now to Cullum. Cullum tries to find loose football on the play, and the Voyageurs have recovered. You talked about the turnovers, John, and on with the football and the cold, we're going to see some turnovers here, but the Voyageurs take advantage of that first turnover right on the final play of the first quarter with LaZerte leading 14-7.
Now you watch that, and it's a little bit of that toss action. He tried to cut it back in, but the defensive tackle fought off the block, made the hit, and as he was coming down, it was bounced out, which gives LaZerte the ball. Now, LaZerte has the ball in their own territory, but if they're able to drive here, and put points on the board, which every offense wants to do. When you get a turnover, the key is to get down the field and get points off the turnover. This could add to the pressure of Fort Saskatchewan. So the big thing here is Fort Saskatchewan's going to want to come back hard and force a turnover.
And Nathan Redford, just a note on that, if we get a chance to see that one again, Nathan Redford with the strip of the football on that play, that safety that we talked about the play earlier. I get the feeling Nathan Redford and Parker Cullum are going to be very familiar with each other by the time this night's over.
Oh, I would suspect that you are right. And, you know, if you take a look, I know some of the LaZerte coaches, and then if you take a look at their well-coached ball club, you can tell by what they're doing. They've also got some big play people, and they use them. They're spreading the ball around. I am impressed with what Fort Saskatchewan is doing in not just working Parker Cullum, but you notice they fake to him, and then they throw to the fullback in the flat, which is a very good play. I haven't seen them go to their wideouts yet, and we'll see if they use that. I know that their quarterback is a pretty good passer. He's got size, but what can happen in these games? These quarterbacks have a tendency, especially on a deep ball, they have a tendency to think they have to step more into it. They overstride and then overthrow the ball. And the very first pass that the Fort Saskatchewan quarterback did in this game, that's what he did. He overthrew his receiver. And you could see it on his stride. He took a long stride on it. The ball will sail every time.
Now LaZerte following the turnover. As we talked about, Voyageurs want to capitalize on this turnover. Here's London Larrett now, the quarterback, number 2. Spotted at about the 40-yard line. Here's Larrett going up top deep, looking for Fiddler, and it's a jump ball, number 20, with the coverage for Fort Saskatchewan. That's Nate McKay, and that's one of those ones, John, where London got a little too much air under the ball.
I think he was okay, and it might be a little too much air, but you look at it there, he gets his hip through. Now the receiver, I thought, could have jumped for this. He kind of just reached out to make sure it wasn't intercepted because the defensive back had very good position.
2nd and 10 now for Emmy LaZerte. From about the 35, and that pass is complete. Not enough for the first down. That's complete to Jemani Watkus. In on the tackle, number 25, Avery Lacusta. Pickup of about, let's say it's about 6, so make it 3rd and 4, Emmy LaZerte, and they're going to kick this ball away.
Now, Fort Saskatchewan has accomplished what they wanted. The turnover happened, 2 and out. That's good football on their point. Now, if you notice, LaZerte, that's the first time they've gone really deep on a pass outside of the touchdown. And what we suspect here now, I think they're going to start doing a little more of that, those flat passes, and try to move the ball that way.
Avery Lacusta, one of the returners, back deep. He does not field this ball. That's taken by number 19, Chase Pouliot, and he only gets a return of about 3 or 4 yards. Good tackle in the open field by the Voyageurs. Nice play by number 87, Caleb Heffley. Good downfield coverage on that punt return, and the Sting will start 1st and 10 with just under 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Emmy LaZerte leads 14-7 following
I believe that was Redford down there with the other fella on that tackle.
And there's a pass right into the belly of number 19, Chase Pouliot. He has a hard time corralling that pass, and as you said, will we see Hamill start throwing the ball? And they do that right away on first down.
They do, and now what do? You're 2nd and long, so are you going to come back with a play action? Or because Parker Cullum is the gun on this offense. He's a runner, but now they're 2nd and 10. So let's see what they do.
Here's Hamill out of the shotgun now. 2nd and long, and there's the pitch to Parker Cullum. He'll read his blocks, try and break it out to the outside, and the Voyageurs. Good pursuit by the defense there, John.
They defended that very well. They strung it out, and you notice as soon as the blocking formed up on that toss, Fort Saskatchewan's had a lot of success with that play this year. So what do? Their halfback came up, the corner came up, and you'll see it here. These guys widen, and you see that defensive end just stretching it out, and that's just an outstanding job by the defense.
Sting are in punt formation. They do have a player on side, but they do kick it away into LaZerte territory. And that's going to be handled by you-know-who, Jemani Watkins. And nice little return of about 10 or 11 yards there by Watkins right at midfield. And we're so glad that you're along with us here on this ICU video live stream of the GILFILLAN City Championship. You're right here at Commonwealth Stadium. It's a historic night, John, and it took a really long time to get here, but boy, are we ever glad that we've got city championships in our signature stadium.
Absolutely. It's nice to see. And what a nice return by Watkins on that last play. Straight up the field, got about 10 yards.
Right at about the 54-yard line, and here is the handoff to Olivo. Olivo breaks a tackle and just gets inside Sting territory, breaks one tackle and crosses midfield for about let's call it about a 4-yard gain there, 2nd and 6. Let's take a look at the run, John.
There's a case where the fullback on that play missed the block, or could have been a slot back, but he missed the block on the linebacker. He turned inside, and they were able to make the tackle, or that would have been a pretty good gain.
Let's call it 2nd and 7. Here's LaZerte now rolling to his left. He's got a man open deep. There's Watkins wide open. 10, 5, touchdown Voyageurs.
Now we've been looking for that. They've been hitting Watkins on the flat on these, if you notice. Now he turns up the field. He ran right by them, and a real nice job by the quarterback. Look at him lead him. Lays it right out there. And the safety tried to make a play, couldn't. Right in the hands, touchdown.
And another, what an athlete number 14 is. He's got a rushing touchdown, and he's got a receiving touchdown. And as we mentioned right off the top, the Voyageur offense runs right through Mr. Watkins.
That's true, and you know, the biggest thing about him is he's a very fine athlete, obviously. But when you look at the catches he made on those outs, they're only about 6-7 yard catches. But he had to go up to get them and keep his feet in bounds. And he did it in both cases. Now on this play, just a little double move and he gets vertical. And I give a lot of credit to London LaZerte on this, because he really laid that ball out there where it had to be.
Well, you can't beat a great throw, and this is just a great throw. Right in, I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. I mean, that's just a fantastic throw. The point after was no good, so the score is 20-7. LaZerte here with 8:55 to go, and I'm a little shocked. I'm going to admit to you, I'm a little bit surprised at this. I was expecting a fairly low-scoring game, but LaZerte has really taken the game to the Sting as they kick off with this 13-point lead, and there's a bit of a squib kick picked up right up the middle. Now there's Pouliot, number 19, looking for room around the right side. And he takes the ball to about the, let's call it the 47-yard line. So Fort Saskatchewan's got some work to do, John.
They've got some work to do, but, you know, you're only 2 scores down. And
in high school and CFL and Canadian football, that's not too difficult a mountain to climb.
It isn't, and you look at the field position they got. They're close to midfield. They're only 7 yards from midfield, so they're in position. If they can get a drive going, they got 8 minutes. They just score a touchdown here, they're right back in this ball game.
Here's Brendan Hamill now, quarterback for the Sting. Here's Cullum, handoff going around the left side. He's got the corner. He's going to cut back, and he's got a first down, and he is chased out of bounds just in front of the Fort Saskatchewan bench. So once again, some good running and good patience by Cullum, John.
It's good patience. I think we got a holding call here. Looked to me like they were holding on the edge on this play. Well, now look at the shoes now. Look at those green shoes. You can't miss those green shoes. That was Fiddler. That was a hit.
Big hit in a big game. Here's Hamill now across the middle. Pass complete. That's first down and more for the Sting as they get inside LaZerte territory. That pass complete right across the middle to number 4, Donovan Vibbert, the wide receiver and defensive end, and he makes a really nice play after the catch.
He did, and defensive back fell down, but that's not the important thing. The important thing here is to watch the coolness of the quarterback and the extremely good blocking of the offensive line of Fort Saskatchewan. That ball was passed beautifully.
1st and 10, and bit of Bit of a broken route on that one as Hamill was in the neighborhood of number 14, Cale Anderson, and number 25, Avery LaCusta. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from about the LaZerte, let's call it the 46-yard line. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10, just under 7 minutes to go here in the opening half.
Now this is twice I've seen Hamill throw to his right, and it looks like he's overthrowing.
Bad
his
snap
receiver.
now, and Hamill has to just fall on the football back at his own 45-yard line. So tough series for Fort Saskatchewan. You give the incomplete pass and then this bad snap, which will happen in these conditions.
It can happen when you go to that gun, you know, the ball's cold, centers are beating their hands up and they're blocking, and all of a sudden they get a bad snap. These are tough things because now the momentum is still all in LaZerte's hands.
And with just over 6 minutes to go, boy, LaZerte would love to cash in with another score here. And there's Fiddler, lets the ball go back to Watkins. Good block by Fiddler now. Watkins now around the left side, and he's wrestled out of bounds by number 20, Nate McKay. About a 7 or 8 yard return for Watkins with 6:12 to go.
I don't think Watkins has ever played baseball. You watch him here. He comes down. That's the worst hook slide I've ever seen in my life. He comes down, he gets the ball. Watch him now go outside, which is nice. Good read by him. He gets out here. Now watch this slide. Whoop, there he goes. Woo, terrible hook slide. Yeah, no form at all.
Yeah, there you go. That's not going to break up the double play.
No.
It's 1st and 10 now. LaZerte, here's LaZerte now. Stops, throws, and complete. Good tackle in the open field. That's number 20, Nate McKay. That pass complete to number 84, Taryn Fiddler.
Now, we've seen McKay make a couple of good hard hits, but it looks to me like on this, he might have come down on his own head here. He's feeling this a little bit. He's hurt. He's a pretty good ball player. But if you take a look at it now, you're looking at 2nd and what? 2nd and 7?
About 2nd and 6, maybe? Let's call it, sure.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what they do because they hit that quick pass. Now, if you noticed on that play, they threw that. Who is coming out in a bubble right there? Olivio.
Olivio,
okay.
Sure.
So all of a sudden now he can pop that ball back, clear him outside, and he's got to run. These are little things that LaZerte, I know, will I don't know for sure, but I suspect they have in their package.
And there's a big hand for number 20, Nate McKay, who was shaken up on that play. Bring up 2nd and 6 with 5:43 to go here in the opening half of the GILFILLAN City Championship. Glad you're along with us here on ICU Videos live stream. Kevin Donnan, along with the coach, John Belmont, and our entire crew here at Commonwealth Stadium for this final city championship of 2017. We're so glad you're along with us. Here's London LaZerte now. And there's the handoff to Watkins, and nothing doing. He's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Number 91, Jackson Dole, with the tackle, as Watkins with one of those times where they tried to get the ball, you know, the Sting were able to shift a little bit and shut down that sweep.
I think on this play now, I don't know if we're going to see it, but it looked to me like the nose guard handled the center well, shifted over, and allowed the linebackers freed up, and everything seemed to work well for the defense. Well-executed defense against what has been the best running play for LaZerte in this half.
There's the kick, bit of a wobbler. You got to expect that, but it's going to bounce. And that's Pouliot, and there's a flag on the play. Good tackle in the open field.
I think this could be an illegal block on 20. I don't think it's no yards. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's no yards. It didn't appear that he was in that 5-yard area. There are 2 flags on the play, one in the middle of the field, one here on the near sideline, but it is coming back. So good call, Coach.
And I'm afraid that illegal block was by number 20.
It's number 20, Nate McKay, who was just taken out of the ball game, shaken up, and was back on that punt return. So this will come back, and we will get the officials' call right here.
During the return, illegal block, Fort Saskatchewan, number 28.
28.
28 was the
wasn't
culprit.
McKay.
That was Connor Buckler, the linebacker and kicker for the Sting. So the Sting
First and 10 for the Sting.
will be 1st and 10 back in their own territory at about the 27-yard line with just under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Here's Hamill now out of the shotgun, looking deep down the middle, and Cullum reaches, but couldn't corral that pass. Number 22, Nathan Redford, with some pretty good coverage on that play.
Pretty
John.
good coverage, but he had him beat. And what happens with a lot of these young quarterbacks, they hold on to the ball too long and they wait for him to clear. Now that receiver was open when he was about 2 yards from that safety. If he'd let the ball go then, he probably got the completion for about 20, 25 yards. He might have been tackled. But we don't see it on the replay, or you could see this. But actually fairly well defended.
Here's Hamill now out of the gun. 2nd and 10. He looked very close to being over the line of scrimmage, but that pass falls incomplete, and it's a 2-and-out for the Sting. So if you're the Sting now, you want to play. You have to play defense in these final 4 minutes.
You do, and if you notice here, it looks like they're losing field position, and this has happened the last couple of plays. We'll see what this punt is like, but the returns by LaZerte have been pretty good, and then that penalty against the Sting pushed them back. So the LaZerte Voyageurs, with 4 minutes to go, could get the ball in pretty good field position.
Fiddler and Watkis back at their own 45, but that ball will bounce out of bounds right in front of the LaZerte bench at about the 46-yard line. So as you mentioned, John, field position now, when you get into that penalty situation, you're pinned back in your own zone, you got to kick the ball away. Now field position is everything.
It is, and very good field position for LaZerte. And this is where Fort Saskatchewan has to come up big defensively. They have done it lately in the game, the last couple of series. But now LaZerte, if they can put points on the board here, this could really change the complexion of the game.
1st and 10 from the 53. Here's LaZerte now looking. Second option, and what a nice pass. Pass complete. And what a play. That's number 87, Caleb Heffley, on that slant pattern, and he wasn't going to be denied. He kept going, and as you mentioned, John, on this tough field, keep those legs moving.
That's the big thing, and you notice this is really a well-run pass route and excellent release of the ball by LaZerte, and I'm very impressed with his coolness in the pocket.
Here's LaZerte now, continuing this drive now, and here's Alvio now looking around the left side, and he's got room near sideline. Oh, and a big shot. Julian drills Alvio on the way out of bounds, but Alvio has got a first down, and this Voyageur offense is putting on a clinic right now, John.
They are. I think Alvio's hurt a little. He's down on the field, but one thing about this, they're not, I don't know if we got this on the replay, but if you look at it on the replay, the way you come around that edge, then it wasn't the best block play, but he made it work. Alvio got out there, and you watch when he comes up the field, he comes up hard. The only thing I would suggest to the young man, it would really help his health out, get lower when you're going to make contact. Give them nothing but shoulder pad, helmet, thigh pad. Don't give them the rest of your body to hit.
And Alvio is definitely shaken up, so they're going to take a long look at him as he's really feeling that one. Tried to get back to the huddle, took a knee, wisely took a knee, and now the training staff will take a look. But here we are, 1st and 10 from the 11, so they still need 10 yards to get a first down, and there's the pass out into the flat. There's Watkis now to the corner. Touchdown, Voyageurs. Jermaine Watkis with his second receiving touchdown, and London LaZerte, it may be -10 outside, but London LaZarte's got the hot hand.
He's got the hot hand, and I give him all the credit in the world. It looked like that pass was covered. But you know, when you have the chemistry with your receivers, you believe, I didn't care if it's double covered. I know he's going to catch the ball, so I'll put it out there. That's what he did. He made the catch and then broke it in for the touchdown. The defender tried to go for the ball, lost the man.
London LaZarte, of course, had the earlier touchdown pass to Watkis. And here we go for the two-point conversion out to the right side. And they are good on that one, and it is. And you know how I could tell it was Taryn Fiddler?
Green shoes.
green shoes.
Attaboy. Now you notice they come
It's
out
an
of
old
that.
coach's trick,
That's
obviously.
right. They come out of that bunch formation and did a real nice job. Double post, hit him out into the flat. And again, London LaZerte, what did he do? He put the ball where it had to be.
London LaZerte now with his third touchdown of the half. 2:50 to go. The Voyageurs lead 28-7. Fort Saskatchewan coming into this game perfect in the regular season, 4-0. 156 points for, none against. As a coach, that point differential is the stuff of dreams. But tonight, the Voyageurs have come in and haven't looked at the standings, haven't looked at points for or against. They've just come out and taken the football game right to the Sting. And a pretty good kickoff here. And it just goes out of bounds. Good, actually, Cullum with a really wise play there, John.
He really did. It shows the intelligence of the young man. He knows if it goes out of bounds, they're getting it on the 40-yard line. Let it go out. No use killing myself. It's going out there. And so I've seen people who had less experience or less ball sense actually catch that ball and step out and be down around the 20-yard line.
Illegal kickoff out of bounds. I roll the ball in place at the 40-yard line.
So this is a big break for Fort Saskatchewan with 2:50 to go, down by 21 points here to get field position at the 40. And the Sting would love to get on the scoreboard here. Brendan Hamill now out of the shotgun. Just under 3 minutes to go in this half. Sting now. Pitch left to Cullum now. He's got room. And he's going to spin out of a tackle and had lots of daylight and a big 15-yard pickup, and that's exactly what Fort Saskatchewan needed.
You know, this shows again how this young man runs the football. He gets the toss out there, he reads the blocking well, gets upfield, and just keeps those legs driving. He's a hard man to tackle because those legs never stop moving.
Right at midfield, right at center field. Here's the pitch now to the right to Cullum, and he's got room now. Inside Voyageur territory, down the near side. And that's another big first down for the Sting here in the final 2 minutes and 20 seconds of this second quarter. And as you said earlier, John, if you've got the big gun, you got to shoot it. And if you're down by 3, you might as well feed the ball to Parker Cullum.
I think that's really important. And the other thing it's going to do, it's going to force LaZerte to do things maybe a little differently than they want to.
Here's Hamill now. Handoff right up the middle to Cullum. And he picks up about 4 as Nathan Redford, number 22, the safety, is in there. Big number 40 for LaZerte. That is, let me check that. That is number Benny Ahmed, who has been very active for LaZerte on defense. That's a pickup of about 5. 2nd and 5 now for the Sting. With 2 minutes to go here in the quarter, down by 3 touchdowns. Here's Cullum now. Pitch right. Flag on the play. Cullum near the first down, but there's a flag in the offensive backfield, and there's a flag on the far side. Flag in the backfield usually means a hold, John.
I would suspect it's holding in the backfield and it's an offside or procedure. If it's offside, could be on the defense. No, it's procedure and holding. So they'll take the holding call, I suspect. I think they'll only take the 1 penalty here.
Voyageurs will likely decline the procedure penalty, but they'll take the hold, back things up, and make that 2nd and about 15, I would guess.
That would be right.
All right.
Legal procedure, no end. That penalty is declined. Holding, Fort Saskatchewan, number 36.
It's number 36, Foster Jurkowitz, the fullback, who's been very active in the passing game and has had a couple of carries, but he gets caught on the hold. So Hamill now.
Well, he got caught
at the 39.
He got caught in the hold because they blitzed and he had to basically grab the fella, and that's what he did.
Here's Hamill now going deep down the middle, and it is picked off. The Voyageurs with a turnover. And it's going to be interesting where they spot this, because they were battling for the football. Hamill throws the interception going deep, and the referees will determine where the ball will be placed.
Well, here's the thing: they will probably do it. the rules read. He catches the ball and being tackled at the same time, the momentum takes him into the end zone, it should come out to the 25 or the 35. However, the ruling might be on the field, said no, he caught the ball there, it'll be on the 10 or the 5, wherever it is. So we'll take a look. It's a 10, or pardon me, yeah, the 10-yard line, so it's where the interception was first made.
We just want to inform our viewers that our replays are down, but we are going to we're going to let our audience know that we will get the replays back, and we'll be and we're going to work on that. No problem at all. A little bit of a technical issue, but we'll get that fixed in no time. The Voyageurs now deep in their own territory, right at the 4 after that turnover, and here's LaZerte now rolling to his left, throwing. Looking for Fiddler, and Fiddler with the fingertip catch. Number 20, Nate McKay right there. And you want to talk about a fingertip catch. It was the second catch, really, that Fiddler made that was the fingertip variety. But great concentration by Fiddler again in traffic.
And again, I've got so much respect, and I get more and more as I watch London LaZerte. He could have run that ball, but he believes in his receivers. He let that ball go, and he said, I know you're going to catch it. And he made a heck of a catch down off the shoelaces.
Here's LaZerte now, patient again, out to the, tries one out to the flat, but that's snuffed out. Took a little too long to develop. Good tackle in the open field by the Sting. That's number 25, Avery Lacusta. He comes up limping a little bit. Looks like he twisted his ankle. Bit of a loss of about 5, make it 2nd and 15. Voyageurs, who are up by 3 touchdowns. A little bit of a shocker here.
A little bit, but we talked about it. You know, a lot of teams will tell you speed is the most important thing in the game.
Speed kills.
And this team has speed.
And London LaZerte now rolling out as he has all night. But what poise in the pocket. Nice throw and just off the shoe tops. And there's a flag. Looks like we could have a roughing the passer call on the Sting. So that's going to be a big penalty.
That is an automatic first down. It's a 15-yard penalty. And first down. The thing about it is, from that position, he couldn't very well throw the ball because he has to come back over his body. Just let it go, let him throw it, and see what happens. You got everybody coming into position. That's just the young man who made that hit. He just wanted the hit so bad. Now, this is what we talked about earlier. Fort Saskatchewan's never been in this position. Now they're never trailed. So now they're forcing themselves, and these were when these mistakes happen.
Donovan Vibert guilty of the 15-yard penalty. Here's Watkins now on that sweep, and that's the first time we've seen anyone really lose their footing, because the field is in very good condition actually for late November, and that's the first slip we've seen. So
I don't think that was a slip.
You don't think so?
No, I think he was tackled
by he was taken down?
He was tackled by the turf monster. And
yes.
It's well known in this stadium. It has tackled people before. You know,
we
I
just
think
hope it's the other guys in the opposite. We just
never
want.
Exactly. You know, Watkins, he tries to make that cut. Feet go out from under him a little bit because he didn't have his feet spread far enough apart to make that cut. And that's all it was.
2nd and 10, LaZerte. He's got a man open. There's Fiddler. Close to first down yardage, but I think he's going to come up about a yard short, about a 9-yard completion. Right into Sting territory. Let's mark it at about the Fort Saskatchewan 53-yard line.
With 29 seconds to go, I think they're going to go for it. And they could get into field goal range here, or they could break one. So we'll see what happens.
3rd and about 2 here. London LaZerte, GILFILLAN City Championship here. Final seconds of this opening half. Voyageurs up by 3 touchdowns. Here's the handoff. There's Alvio. Glad to see him back in the ballgame, and he picks up a big first down. Alvio shaken up before the last touchdown on that run here on the near sideline. Nice to see him back in the football game.
This will be the last play of the half with 7 seconds on the clock, unless it's a real quick pass. I suspect they're going to go deep. And we'll see what Fort Saskatchewan does in their coverage. They should probably be dropping into 4 deep coverage, or at least a very deep 3 deep with their linebackers at good depth, and then play up from there.
Now, we're going to talk about this first half during our halftime. We've got a couple of special guests as well. But I'm going to ask you, Coach, about what Fort Saskatchewan has to do to keep London LaZerte in the pocket. because he's rolling. I mean, this is where the Voyageurs have had such great success in this first half. Getting LaZerte out into space, rolling out and finding receivers. The Sting are going to have to work on that and make some adjustments at the half.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, but it is mainly the job of the outside linebackers in this defense and the ends.
Here we go now. Final play of the half. Here's LaZerte now going up top, going deep, and that pass will fall incomplete with just 1 second left on the clock. And what's been a very entertaining first half, John.
It has been. The Sting get the ball just at the 50-yard line, the minus 15-yard line, so they've got 60 yards to go in 1 second to score. And what do you think they're going to do on this last play?
Well, I think if you're in a city championship game, you might as well throw one deep and see what happens and see if you can get another touchdown.
Well, you know what? That was only second down. So these fellas are still in it. LaZerte is still in there, so they'll just run the play.
Defensive backs drop back. And here's Olvio with the carry. It is a first down, but that is the final play of this first half here in the GILFILLAN Conference City Championship. The LaZerte Voyageurs lead this contest 28-7. And we'll be with you in just a few moments as we close out this first half, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Stay tuned and stay with us.
How are you? Good.
Heart rates and target zone metabolism increases energy. Each class is different. Every session results more energy.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium, and here at the half in this GILFILLAN Conference City Championship football game between the LaZerte Voyageurs and the Fort Saskatchewan Sting, and the LaZerte Voyageurs lead this football game 28-7. And if you have been in the city and know either public relations or sports in this town for about the past, well, I don't want to age you, Alan, but a little while.
Yeah.
If you're in the PR business like I am, this man is a legend.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Alan Watt, the marketing and communications guru for you. You've worked for the Eskimos twice now. You're on your second tour of duty, and you've worked with the Oilers. But first, let's talk about the news of the day. And you know, normally mayors make friendly wagers over football games, but today Brian Bowman, the mayor of Winnipeg, came out and said he's lobbying our mayor to have the Eskimos team name change. What are your thoughts on that? And where does the organization stand on that today? It's come up before.
Yeah, you know, we're not so naive as to think that people aren't out there talking about this topic. And, you know, one of the things that I think we'd be wise to do, and it's what we're doing right now, is to simply listen. You know, one of the worst things you can do is, I think, is to sort of lead the charge, if I can use that term. And we're in listening mode right now. We get calls every now and again say, hey, will you participate in a talk show? I said, no, you have the discussion, because we need to hear from as many people as we can. We need to hear from all of it. We've heard from the mayor of Winnipeg, although we wish he would have contacted us directly. And then, news outlets naturally follow that up. But our position on all of that is that we are not, as I said, so naive as to think that the team name is not being discussed. It's been our team name for 70 years. We're pretty respectful of it, and also respectful of what our fans feel about it. You know, one of the people, the biggest constituency that would have a stake in anything the Edmonton Football Club does is our season seat holders, our sponsors, partners, rights holders, and on down the line. So we always have to be cognizant of what they're thinking as well and saying.
And as we've said before, I mean, the Eskimos are the flagship franchise of the CFL.
Oh, I like to think so.
You've been, of course, and this organization has done a lot of work in the Inuit community. You've had talks with some of those leaders, and like you say, you've always been listening, which is important.
One of the things that I think our president and CEO Landon Rhodes has done really well is to engage with Nathan Obed, who's the head of ITK, which is a very large and very powerful Inuit organization that represents the 4 or 5 large Inuit constituencies across the north. And they've both done it in a gentlemanly fashion, and on both sides.
And very respectful.
And very respectful, and I think that'll carry on. So.
There we are.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some football.
Yeah.
This is such a thrill for these high school athletes, and as a member of the Eskimos organization, you've got to be quite proud to see the city championships here in Commonwealth.
I'm glad the city has found a way for the city championships to be fun.
It's been a long time
in Commonwealth Stadium. Good for them. I think it's a big thrill for anybody to get on the field at Commonwealth Stadium, I like to think, and especially if you're padded up, got your helmet on, and you're a young football player. I think it's a big thrill. It's too bad that it's not +10 rather than -5. But, the kids to me don't look like they're suffering too much.
That's
Their
right.
parents may be sitting in the stands. But
now, one last quick question. Big game this weekend.
Yeah.
What are we doing this weekend? We're gonna pull this one off, aren't we?
Well, no guarantees here, but I have every faith that in our team. I think that we're healthier than we've been for the last.
And you're on a roll.
And we're on a roll. And hats off to Jason Moss, Brock Sunderland, the job they've done. We're getting players back. We're literally getting them back every week. I think our lineup is solid. I think you've seen the way the team's played the last 5 games, particularly the last 3, and then specifically the one in Regina.
Total domination.
Yeah, I don't think they were ever going to let Saskatchewan win that game. Good for them. But, Winnipeg, I've been to Winnipeg many, many, many times. It's an awkward place to try and win a game.
It's never easy. But I want to thank Alan Watt of the Edmonton Eskimos for coming up into the booth tonight on the city championship, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you so much, Alan. It's been a fantastic game, and we're going to have more to come in just a few moments. Welcome back, and our next guest on The Half is Michelle Ross from Metro Athletics. And how big of a thrill is it? First of all, welcome to our coverage here on ICU Video, and this is the third and final city championship game here at Commonwealth. What a thrill for these players.
It is. It's been exceptionally well received, and all the coaches have been thrilled, and it's been a thrill for me too. I've been involved with football for a while at the provincial level, and coming to Metro Athletics, it's been exciting for me to be able to help facilitate this and bring this to reality. So
And obviously we'd like to see this continue, and hopefully, I mean, it looks like all the pieces are in place to bring these games back. But this means so much to high school football and to the players and coaches, doesn't it?
it does, and the Eskimos are more than happy to sit with us and work with us for future years, and so we're hoping that this is going to be something that's continued. So. And
this game, I mean, like you say, you watch a lot of football, but this has been a thriller so far. It's been a very good game.
It has been. It's been a really good game. It was pretty close for a while there, and I'm pleasantly surprised by Emmy LaZerte.
I think everyone is a little surprised by Emmy LaZerte, but maybe the only people who aren't surprised are the Voyageurs right now, because they've come out and taken the game to them. Well, I want to thank my guest, Michelle Ross, for joining us here at the half, and we will be back with you with second half action in just a couple of seconds.
Manny Watkins has 7 carries for 101 yards. Total offense for the Saskatchewan Sting, 154 yards, 308 yards for the Voyageurs.
Want to thank both of our guests, Alan Watt of the Edmonton Eskimos, the marketing and communications guru of the 14-time Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos. Of course, they're going after their 15th title. Of course, that starts Sunday afternoon in Winnipeg against the Blue Bombers, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch as our hometown Eskimos take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And John, give us your thoughts on a very entertaining first half. The Sting will receive the second half kickoff, but it's been all Voyageurs so far.
Well, again, what we talked about at the start of the game, power against speed, and in the field today, the speed has been winning. And the execution of LaZerte, especially in their passing game, the routes of the receivers, the excellent passing of London LaZerte, it's what has maintained these drives. And I don't believe, remember, the Fort Saskatchewan Sting has not seen anybody like LaZerte this year. They only played LaZerte early. LaZerte has gotten really good at the end of the season. So this is what now Fort Saskatchewan's in some trouble. The coaches have to settle them down. Let's just play our football and see if they can control the ball.
These two teams met in early September, and it was Fort Saskatchewan winning big 35-0 over the Voyageurs. But playoff football is a totally different animal, and let's take a look at some of the stats. John can run us through some of the stats. Parker Cullum has had a sensational first half.
Well, he has. He's already rushed for over 100 yards, 107 yards on 12 carries for an 8.9 average, which is good in any league that you're at. But when you take a look at the other part, if you look at Brennan Hamill, I mean, he's only 2 for 8 passing, whereas London LaZerte is 16 for 19. And that's the difference in the ball game.
We talked about the hot hand, and boy, he's red hot here on a cold night.
He is that.
Kickoff now. We begin the second half. Voyageurs up 28-7. That's number 19, Chase Pouliot. He'll spin around. He's going to get almost to midfield. Let's spot him right at the 53-yard line, and that's the kind of play right off the start, John, that the Sting need to get back into this football game.
They do, and Pouliot was a good young man to be carrying the ball here because he is tough, and he's showing it from his defensive position in the first half. He was in on a tremendous number of tackles. He shows tremendous balance here on the return, and you look at it, he just keeps running. And that's the effort they've got to get this entire half.
Here's Hamill now. Bit of a mix-up in the backfield. He'll try and spin around. There's the big fella now trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and that looked like a broken play.
I think so. I don't know if that was like a stretch play, and then they tried to just run out of it. But the one thing is he lost a couple of yards, so now we're 2nd and 12. Now, again, their big man is Parker Cullum, but are they going to be able to go to him in this situation? Or are they going to have to throw the ball?
Early seconds of this second half, the Emmy LaZerte Voyageurs lead 28-7. ICU Video's live stream coverage of the GILFILLAN City Championship and the GILFILLAN Football Conference. And the Sting now at a 2nd and long, call it maybe 2nd and 12 from their own 50-yard line. And Hamill now out of the shotgun. Drops back, looks, and he's got a receiver open. That's number 25, Lacusta, with the stiff arm, and he's got room down the near sideline. No, one man to beat, race to the end zone, and Lacusta is driven out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and what an individual effort by Avery Lacusta.
Now you watch this, it's a quick little out route, gets out on the flat, the defender misses the tackle, he doesn't hang on, and you give this young man some room, he's going to run on you, and there's 2 missed tackles. But look at Pouliot, he's down there hustling to make that tackle and to make that block all the way down the field.
And he was on the football and ready for the fumble. So Pouliot with the great effort, and as with Lacusta, we get that replay again. Here's Cullum now, pitch right, back to the live action, up the middle, touchdown, Fort Saskatchewan. But there is a flag on the far side, but a couple of big plays here for Fort Saskatchewan. Avery Lacusta with set up this one, but we're going to see what this flag is all about on the far side. It is an illegal procedure call against Fort Saskatchewan, and that one hurts.
It does. You know, this is what we talked about. Fort Saskatchewan had to come out and establish something. They did on that first play to Avery Lacusta. It actually started off on the return with a hard running of Pouliot, and then the pass to Lacusta. And now they get in, and Parker Cullum scores, and it comes back. So let's see if they can keep that momentum going.
2nd and goal to go for the Sting. Hamill now looks across the middle, caught, and no, that is incomplete. Looking for Lacusta again. We'll check the replay. Lacusta says he made the catch. We're going to take a look here on our ICU video replay. Lacusta's begging the official, saying, hey, I got that ball. Let's take a close look.
If any part of this ball touches the turf, it's incomplete. I don't know on that either. It's hard to tell.
Boy. Oh, is that close? Bring up 2nd down. There was a holding call, but boy, that Lacusta, I think, has a case on that catch.
I think that could be right. It's tough because the judge, the back judge, where he was standing was right on the goal line. When he caught it, if you notice, Avery Lacusta turned his back on him, so he didn't see totally.
Here's Hamill now out of the shotgun, 2nd and goal. He'll roll right. Look, he's got a man open. Right to, or just inside the 5-yard line. Trying to get the number here from the far side. That pass complete to number 36, Foster Jurkowitz. That's his 2nd catch of the ball game.
And they've run this play a few times. Fake the lead. It's just a lead pass. The fullback gets out on the flat. They've executed it very well. This is an outstanding goal line play to run, but I would suspect Parker Cullum will be carrying the ball here.
3rd and goal to go. Big play here. Here's Cullum now. He'll try the outside, cut back inside. Touchdown, Fort Saskatchewan. Parker Cullum and the Sting are back in this football game just like that.
Well, they are, and the neat thing about this was a very, very quick play. And you watch it. There he goes outside. And he's run this toss before and done it extremely well. Very well executed play.
Looked inside, tried outside, went outside again, and then cut back. So once again, that patience and being able to see daylight, run to daylight for Parker Cullum.
And this is what they do well, and it's what they have to do in the ball game. If you notice, their passes in this case, they're a flat pass to Avery Lacusta. He breaks it up the field, gets a big gain, and it's a running game. It's the power. And now LaZerte's going to come back, and they're going to be putting the heat on with their passing game. So how's Fort Saskatchewan going to adjust in this 2nd half to the passing game of LaZerte?
We talked about that, John. And it's about keeping LaZerte in the pocket, because LaZerte has killed them by rolling out, be it left or right. He's got the ability to throw across his body. LaZerte's very dangerous when he gets rolling out. So the Sting, the key now is to keep him in the pocket.
Keep him in the pocket. I don't know if LaZerte has this, but there is what we call throwback patterns, what you do, and you semi-roll. You set it up and then come back to the backside. They've shown none of this. If they have it in their package in this second half, they will probably use it. Because I agree with you. I think Fort Saskatchewan is going to try to stretch him. They have to, and keep him in the pocket.
Sting now to kick off. They've cut the lead in half, 28-14. Here are the Voyageurs, and there's Taryn Fiddler, number 84, with a nice return out to the 40-yard line of, call it the 41 of Emmy LaZerte. 8:37 to go here in the third quarter. Glad you're along with us, Kevin Donnan, with the coach, John Belmont, as we bring you ICU Video's live stream coverage of the GILFILLAN City Championship here in football. Of course, ICU Video covering all 3 Metro Athletic City Championship finals. And we've got a good one here, 8:28 to go, third quarter. London Larratt out of the shotgun with a 2-touchdown lead for Emmy LaZerte.
Now, if you notice, they've widened their ends a little bit here. And this is what it looks like they're going to do. We got a procedure. Yeah, it's a procedure call.
And, Coach, you were saying they're trying to stretch a little bit.
They are, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised if LaZerte sees that and say, we're going to run right up that bubble, really attack those linebackers with our guards. We'll man block the ends with the tackles, and the center will take the nose guard and just attack it quick. And you know, Alvio is a very good running back, so it would work. But we'll see what happens, see how they play it.
5-yard penalty for illegal procedure. Here's Watkins. That's Fiddler around the right side, and he gets belted by number 20, Nate McKay, who's been all over the field tonight, and he limits that gain to make it about 6 yards. Good run by Taryn Fiddler here.
And what made this play, again, the defensive ends did a real good job of forcing everything to belly. Allowed those linebackers and the defensive halfback to come out and fill it.
2nd and 9, Emmy LaZerte. Ball at their own, let's call it the 47-yard line. Here's Larratt now rolling right out of the pocket. And he's just going to throw this one away wisely as number 14, Watkins, was covered on that play by number 25, Avery LaCusta.
Now, what we have here, if you can notice, remember we said, how are they going to deal with this as Fort Saskatchewan and deal with him getting outside? They just widen their ends, and the second he starts rolling, they're firing him to the sideline and getting pressure on him. In that case, he's going to the short side, threw the ball away. It was probably a smart play by him. If he goes upfield the way the coverage was, he could have had a pick.
Voyageurs to kick the ball away here following their offensive series, and it's an end-over-end kick into Sting territory. Loose football. Fumble on the play on the turf, and what a break for Fort Saskatchewan. That ball traveled about 18 yards.
We have a roughing the kicker on the play, so LaZerte is going to get the ball first down.
There is a flag right at, we'll get the replay here. Hopefully we can get that, contacting the kicker, the flag in the backfield. But Fort Saskatchewan with a bizarre play as this ball bounces around. The Sting recover, but it is looks like it will be. That is an automatic first down. Donovan Vibbert with the contacting the kicker penalty. Of course, earlier in the first half, he had a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty, so that's.
Now, the big thing here is that was contacting the kicker, which is a 10-yard penalty. If that's not an automatic first down.
Right,
it was
right.
2nd and 9. If it had been roughing the kicker, it's 15 yards and automatic. But this is a break for LaZerte.
This is a huge break. Here's Alvio now straight up the middle as he twists and turns for a 4-yard gain just past the midfield stripe. No, you nailed it, Coach. That's for sure. Not an automatic, but with it being 3rd and 9.
That's right.
It is a first down, and there's Alvio with some tough sledding through the middle and about a 4-yard pickup, and we are right at midfield with 6:30 to go. Emmy LaZerte now 2nd and 6 from midfield. Larratt out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left side. Hand off to Alvio now straight up the middle, and Good tackle, number 38. Andrew Paholka, the middle linebacker. We haven't called his name a lot tonight, but he's one of the kingpins of the Sting defense.
Again, what are they doing? They took those ends and widened them out. The tackles have to take those, the guards have to take that linebacker. They didn't. And if you don't get on these linebackers with those guards, they'll be making the tackles all the time.
3rd and 5. LaZerte going for it here just inside Sting territory. And there's the pass complete to Watkins. He turns around and he's got a wide open now into Sting territory. And there's a late flag coming in on that play, but Watkins just stopped, sat in the zone, got the ball and turned upfield and made a couple of nice plays. John, here's the replay.
Now he does a nice job catching and makes this.
That's an unnecessary. That's a UR penalty, an unnecessary roughness on number 61. That's Taylor Lanigan, the center for the Voyageurs, and that's a killer.
Well, it is, but it's first down. They'd had first down yards. Now they're calling today, and Brendan Murphy is the referee. His crews are notorious for this. If you peel back on somebody and you don't get your hands in the numbers on them and you hit them with the shoulder, they're going to flag you every time for UR. So that's what he's calling. And the teams know this. This is what they call, so you have to adapt accordingly. And LaZerte did not adapt on that, and it cost them. They still have good first down territory.
Still good field position, but that eliminates that big play by Watkins, so they'll be 1st and 10 from the Fort Saskatchewan, about 42-yard line. Here's LaZerte now going to swing it out to Alvio. Alvio around the left side, avoids one tackler, gets into that second level and picks up about 5 yards.
That's
good
work. Little swing pass or bubble screen, and he got outside the number 2 receiver out there, and I don't know what the number was, but he did a very nice job blocking up on the halfback.
Here we go with our ICU video replay. There's the swing pass out to Alvio.
Now you watch the block right there, the lower part of the screen. And this is what a lot of these young receivers, they get on their blocks and they come off them too quick. They got to keep their feet moving. And that's what happens with a lot of what happened in this play with a couple of those receivers.
2nd and 5. Here's LaZerte now, and that's the first time we've seen him have trouble throwing the football. That pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. But that's the first time we've seen London LaZerte have a hard time. That's the only time we've seen him have a ball get away on.
That's right. It really got away on.
Yeah, that one
totally underthrew it. He had a receiver wide open, which would have been in first down territory. Shows the confidence they have in the young man because they're going right back to it. And we'll see. I'm sure this will be a pass play. Emptied the field.
Here's LaZerte now rolling right, looking deep now for Fiddler, and he can't make the play right. I don't think he would have been in bounds. But number 20, Nate McKay there with the coverage. So LaZerte will turn the football over here on downs.
Now this is, again, if we have it on the replay, this is a case where I really believe he should have run the ball. They sealed the corner. Alvio did a good job. Well, maybe he couldn't have got out. But the defender was in perfect position on that play. And one thing LaZerte receivers did not do on this, you don't see them working back to the ball. They stayed deep and stayed at their depth. So you've got to work back and help out your quarterback.
Fort Saskatchewan takes over on downs. They're 1st and 10. Here as we, with 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, and that pass falls incomplete. Had Cullum over the middle, and Cullum couldn't bring that pass in.
Now, again, interestingly enough, the momentum is in Fort Saskatchewan's hands. They have scored last, and LaZerte came down and had a turnover on downs, arguably, but still it's a turnover. So Fort Saskatchewan, if they're able to get a drive going here, the momentum is still all in their hands.
Hamill out of the shotgun, 3 receivers left. He's going to roll left and pitch it out to Cullum now. Here's Cullum now with room up the middle, and he's loose. He is gone. Cullum now. Far side, one man to beat, and he is forced out of bounds. At about the 16-yard line. What a play by Parker Cullum. Reverses his field too, John.
This shows you what we've talked about, how he moves his feet. Now, he did a little inside-outside move twice there, cut it back, and just an excellent job of running. You can't ask more from a young man than what he gave you on that play.
Nathan Redford with the touchdown-saving tackle. Sting on the move here from the 16. Here's Hamill now finding the receiver open. Down to the 5. Looks like first down. No. Spins out of that. That's Chase Pouliot. And he's got a first down right at the 2-yard line. So Fort Saskatchewan is in business.
Well, they are. As I say, the momentum is all in their hands right now. And if they punch this one in, now LaZerte has got to come back and do something. So, holding call.
Flag on the play, 10-yard holding penalty. And that one is going to hurt you, because all of a sudden you go from first and goal to goal at the 2, and now you're back 20 yards.
You're back 20 yards, but you know what? It still can get a first down, and I would suspect they could come back to the running game here.
Here's Hamill now. He's gonna step up and throw one for the end zone. Here's Pouliot wide open. Touchdown, Fort Saskatchewan. Beautiful throw by Brendan Hamill.
Defender got turned around the wrong way when you see this on the replay, and he turns inside. The ball went outside. It was a good route by Pouliot, and I don't think you see the move he puts on there, but he turned around the back there, and you see it. He just got separation.
Beautiful throw by Hamill. Good catch by Pouliot, and the Fort Saskatchewan Sting are about to be within a touchdown should this point after be successful, and it is no good. So it is 28-20 now for Emmy LaZerte, but Fort Saskatchewan has stormed back here in this third quarter, and as we've talked about many times, playoff football, high school football, we're in for a good one here as we close out this third quarter here in the final 2 minutes and 53 seconds, but this is shaping up to be a real seesaw battle between two very well coached and two very talented football teams. So the Sting will kick off here following the touchdown.
Well, that's it, and this will be interesting, like we said, and momentum all in Fort Saskatchewan's hands. Now, if you notice from the opening kickoff of this half, Fort Saskatchewan came out fired up, a good return, and they moved the ball down the field and scored. Then their defense off the kickoff, they got downfield quickly. They forced LaZerte to turn the ball over on downs. And you look at what they're doing, everything is in their hands now. So LaZerte has to come back and make something happen on this drive.
Here's a kickoff by the Sting right up the middle. Fiddler lets Watkiss take it, number 14, and Watkiss is taken down.
About the 38?
About the 38-yard line, you bet, Coach. 2:47 to go here in the third quarter. LaZerte up 28-20. Now, if you are Ryan Lycan, what are you getting your team, what are you telling your team right now?
Settling them down, and let's do, again, what do we do best? That's getting the ball out of their hands and into the receiver's hands. That being said, what they have to do is set him inside a little more. Those ends are taking good outside shade, and they'll take away the outside roll. So instead of, there he goes, just dropping back, and this is the right thing to do.
They overloaded the receivers to the left side. There was 4 receivers to the left. LaZerte looked right and found Taryn Fiddler, number 84, for about a 6-yard gain. So they overload the left side, go right, and there's Fiddler.
And what that was, a little play action pass, and then come back to the isolate side, what we call the isolate side, in this case the boundary, and end up with a 7-yard gain.
Second and a long 3 here. London LaZerte out of the shotgun. 4 receivers left again. Fakes the handoff. He's going to call his own number, go straight up the middle, but he stopped short of the first down. Good open field tackle. That was number 38, Andrew Paholka, the middle linebacker, and he was not going to let London LaZerte get that first down.
Well, you add to this, I think if you look at it, we'll see how he goes here, how he comes down. Yeah, that's what I thought. Where he comes down, Fort Saskatchewan actually got a pretty good spot on that, because he was a little bit further forward than what they spotted the ball.
Big play in the football game here. 3rd and 1, Emmy LaZerte. inside their own territory. Here's the handoff to Alvio. He's got first down yardage, but there is a flag on the play. Alvio goes straight up for a gain of about 4, so that is a first down for the Voyageurs, but we've got to figure out this penalty.
Now there is either a procedure or it's offside on the defense. We'll see what it is. It's the line judge on this side made the call.
Check with our referee. Offside on the offense. That's number 54. That's Michael Shimko.
Now these are the mistakes that cost you. Now all of a sudden they're in a situation where they're going to have to punt the ball. They would have had the first down. Now Fort Saskatchewan still has momentum,
and this type of penalty is the one that can be a backbreaker, especially when you go from, as you mentioned, now you got to kick the ball away. You had a good drive going. Now you got to kick this one away. So that is exactly what the Voyageurs will do here in the final minute of the third quarter. 3rd and long, so the Voyageurs will kick this ball away. And it looks like we have a timeout called by the Voyageurs. So thanks for joining us on this live stream coverage of ICU Video. Kevin Donnan along with the coach John Belmont and our entire ICU Video crew. Of course, no one doesn't like us, John, in terms of covering amateur sports and especially football. Of course, ICU Video, you call the Husky. You're on the Huskies call with Dave Rozak, and of course the Huskies had a tremendous season this year.
Well, they did. Interesting on this last play, again, some of the drives coaches crazy. You only got 2 timeouts each half. LaZerte had to use a timeout because they did not have 12 people on the field. And there's a situation, and you're into a 3rd down, players starting to make mental mistakes. This just lifts the Fort Saskatchewan team. And then the Sting is, they're going to be just firing when they get the ball here. It'll be very interesting to see if LaZerte can stop them now.
LaZerte would love nothing more than to get that high-octane offense back on the field. Good kick by the Voyageurs. And there's the return by the Sting, nearly. That's Pouliot fighting his way right to midfield. And Pouliot wasn't going to get taken down. Good little return by number 19, who's caught a touchdown pass and has made some big plays on defense. And he makes a big play here.
Well, again, you watch what he does, and we've seen this from him. We've seen it from Parker Collum. They just keep their feet moving. They just keep going. They do not stop. And that's just good football. That's good football at any level.
1st and 10 now, Fort Saskatchewan from the Voyageur 54-yard line, just inside Emmy LaZerte territory. Final 25 seconds of this quarter now. Hamill out of the shotgun, looking deep down the side. He's got Vibert wide open. 10, 5, touchdown! Fort Saskatchewan. Donovan Vibert, who's committed he's committed a couple of penalties in this football game, but he's made up for it big with that touchdown catch.
Now here's the interesting thing to me with this whole thing. We talked about what Fort Saskatchewan had to do. They've done it in a quarter. And in this time, if you look at that play, where exactly had Fort Saskatchewan gone with their passing game? They've gone to the right side of the defense of the Emmy LaZerte Voyageurs. They beat the halfback first time. This time they beat the corner. So they've had success. Now they're going to try to get the 2-point conversion.
Here's the Sting now. Here's Cullum now trying to bust it to the outside. And good pursuit by the LaZerte defense. So that'll make the score 28-26 with 15 seconds to go. And John, we figured that the Sting, I'm sure, you've been in this situation. You've been in every situation you could dream of as a football coach. But I'm sure Tyler Hussey peeled the paint off the walls maybe inside that locker room, because the Sting have come out and have just dominated in this quarter.
And whatever he did in there worked. Whether it was
sure,
to peel the paint, as you say, or to just
make the right adjustments.
Let's get up and have some fun out there. Relax. You're too tight. That can happen sometimes.
Sure.
The coach has to know his players. And this is the thing I'll guarantee you, that both these coaches know their teams.
Boy, are we in for a good one now. 2-point difference. It was 28-7 at the half. And now Fort Saskatchewan with 19 unanswered points here in this third quarter. And here's the kickoff. And the Voyageurs are going to try and bounce back. There's Caleb Heffley, number 87. He fielded that ball. Oh, loose football on the play. Fumble on the kickoff. Well, and a big break for the Voyageurs right there. Caleb Heffley loses the handle on the football. I think he's shaken up on the play. But, wow, did the Voyageurs ever dodge a bullet on that kick return?
Well, usually when you get a kick to that individual, he's usually your point man on your wedge, and he's not used to carrying the ball.
Yeah, they don't see the football too much.
No. You got to wrap him up. When it gets cold like this and the hands aren't they go a little numb, you got to double wrap that ball, and there's different techniques you can use to do it. But you got to lower your shoulders and just go get what you can, but protect the ball.
Sometimes you have to remind those wedge guys to run when they get the ball in their hands.
That's true. He did a good job of that, though. He got up the field.
Fantastic, and Caleb Heffley is shaken up on the play. He returned that kickoff right out to, let's call it about the 48-yard line. 6 seconds to go. Glad you're along with us. GILFILLAN City Championship game between the LaZerte Voyageurs and the Fort Saskatchewan Sting. And Caleb Heffley shaken up on that play, but he's walking off under his own power. And barring penalties, this will be the final play of the third quarter. In what looked to be a shocker, the Voyageurs came out and just had an amazing first half, but Fort Saskatchewan has changed the fortunes of this football game, and we are in for a good one here as we close out the third and head into the final quarter. Here's London Larratt out of the shotgun. Handoff to Olvio. Olvio breaks the first tackle. He's got room now. And that's a big first down by Olvio, number 5 of the Voyageurs, as he picks up 12 yards on that carry. And the Voyageurs are going to need a guy like Olvio in this fourth quarter.
You have to use him. And the other part of this is we go to the quarter time. The other thing that they've got to do now, not just use him running the ball outside, but they've got to get their guards have to get up into those linebackers and attack because the ends are so far outside. And now whether they can take advantage of this or not, and I know the coaches, Coach Leikert, I guarantee you, he's looking at it and said, we're still better off going outside. We'll double team those ends, we'll get them hooked, and away we'll go. We'll run it. And that's what they did on that play. So we'll see if they can continue to do that and then tighten things up and come back to their passing game.
Big first down for the Voyageurs at the Fort Saskatchewan, right at about the 50-yard line, call it the 49.5. So here we go as we start the fourth quarter. There's a bit of runoff of the clock here.
They got to take it down. Still give 2 minutes, so he's got another
So we'll
minute
wait a
to
couple
go.
of minutes and just say how great it is to be here at Commonwealth Stadium. What a thrill for all 6 teams who have played the city championships here. Of course, Harry Ainley defeated Belrose. Strathcona, our alma mater, defeated Paul Kane, and we've got a good one tonight. 28-26, the Voyageurs lead going into this fourth quarter. It's been London Larratt has been outstanding. But the Sting and Brendan Hamill, this is a real quarterback battle now, John.
Well, it's a quarterback battle. It's also a battle of the running backs. When you look at Parker Collum, who's as good as you'll see, and then you look at Matt Olvio, these guys are playing really well. They're playing hard, and the lines are playing tough. So there's a lot of strategy that's going to go on in this last quarter, but the biggest part is eliminate turnovers, control the ball, control the clock. And so far, LaZerte has not been able to stop Fort Saskatchewan in this second half, as Fort Saskatchewan could not stop LaZerte in the first half.
It's been a seesaw battle. It's been a tale of two halves, and we got a great crowd here at Commonwealth, and they're into it. That's the best way to stay warm. Stomp your feet, clap your hands. There's a nice little shovel pass now. Room, first down, yardage, and more, and that's a nice little design play. That's number 9, Ryan Zwing, taking that shovel pass. So that's first time. Actually, that's Olvio with that shovel pass.
Was LaVille with a shovel, and he did a nice job getting outside. It was really well blocked by the wide receiver out here. You look at that, and they just nice job getting the ball over the defender, and LaVille gets a nice big first down. So right now, LaZerte is on a little bit of a roll.
Got to admire the poise of London Larrett back there in the pocket. Real patient, going up top, going deep for Fiddler, and the pass falls incomplete. Flag on the play as Larrett threw that one up for Fiddler. 3 members of the Sting secondary right in the neighborhood, but there is a flag on that play. Let's take a look at this one, John.
This will be pass interference.
Yeah, did not turn or...
Didn't turn, he went right through him. However, on this case, London Larrett's got to understand he's got to let that ball go earlier. He lets that ball go earlier, it's a touchdown. And that's a lot of young quarterbacks, we talked about it earlier, they set and they wait until that receiver is cleared by people, and then they think they can get it to him.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, so LaZerte still needs to get to the 1 to get the first down. Here's the sweep around the left side. That's Fiddler. Nothing doing. No gain on the play. Taken down on the near sideline right at the line of scrimmage. That's number 94, Cameron Spray, forcing him out of bounds.
Neat thing here is what for young players who run this fly, eventually you have to turn up. Sometimes you're not going to gain much yardage. Well, you want to turn up so you can get 1, maybe 2. Instead, they got nothing. They just drove him out of bounds. And that's something that it takes some experience running that play to know how to do it.
Here's Larrett now in the pocket, looking, throwing, and that pass will fall incomplete. Just gets the ball away. Donovan Vibbert with the pressure on Larrett, and Larrett with the incomplete pass. So the Voyageurs here have a decision to make. They're 3rd and 10 from the 11, and Larrett's going to come to the sideline and have a quick chat with Ryan Lycan, and the Voyageurs are going to go for it.
This is a little surprising to me, unless they feel their place kicker is, they need to get the touchdown.
Big play in the biggest play in the ball game right here. 3rd and 10. Larrett, empty backfield, rolls right, looking, throws into the end zone.
Intercepted.
And it is picked off by Fort Saskatchewan. And that defense that has not given up a point until this football game makes a big play in the secondary.
If you watch this on the replay, he's going to have a man underneath that's wide open. He goes deep. You see out here, number 22 was wide open. He throws that ball to the sideline. He's got a touchdown.
Interception by number 27, Parker Cullum, who is, of course, carrying the rock for the Sting on offense, and he makes a big play on defense. So the score remains 28-26. The Sting will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Who do you think's going to get the ball in this first play?
I'm going to say Parker Cullum.
I would think so.
And now he stops and delivers a bullet to number 4. That's Donovan Vibbert. He caught the touchdown pass, and suddenly Donovan Vibbert's name, we're calling his name a couple of times as he hauls in that pass for a big first down for Fort Saskatchewan. That's a big play.
Big play and interesting play call. I don't know if they do this quite often, a first down way in their own territory, but it was a well-executed play, nice slant, and hit the receiver right on the numbers.
1st and 10 from the Fort Saskatchewan 38. Sting on the move here. Hamill out of the shotgun. Drops back looking. He's going to swing it out to Parker Cullum. Cullum with a nice move. Breaks 1 tackle. First down yardage. Stiff arm and a big first down. Close to midfield, right at about the 51-yard line, and a nice move in the open field by
When you
Cullum.
see this on the replay now, we've seen this 2 or 3 times. Watch the little inside-outside move. There's one there. Watch the next one. Right there, little inside-outside. Really nicely done job by Parker Cullum, and it just shows why he's such a good back in this conference.
1st and 10 from the Fort Saskatchewan 46. 8:30 to go here in the football game. Sting down. Here's Hamill calling his own number, and There's that slide right into second base. That's much better than the one we saw earlier.
Well, it was a better slide, but it's coming back because the slot back on this side was offside by about 4 yards.
And they'll get you every time on that one when you're that far. But Hamill calls his own. We haven't seen Hamill run the ball a lot this game, but he had a lot of room up the middle.
I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I think he saw that his man was offside, and he's just going to do something simple and protect himself.
Protect the ball.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly right. It's a real, to me, a real smart play, again, by Brennan Hamill. And he's showing a lot of poise out here.
1st and 15 now for the Sting following the 5-yard penalty. Both quarterbacks showing great poise and great precision here. Brendan Hamill now out of the shotgun, looks, and now he is going to run. He's going to take it straight up the middle, and he slides back to about the original line of scrimmage. So we'll call it a pickup of about 5, maybe 6, call it 2nd and 9. So there's a case where Hamill really had no option.
But again, here's, he looks 62, and what is he? He comes in high. If he'd broken down and got in position, he might have been able to hold him up, and they could have tackled him behind the line of scrimmage. That's the nose tackle for Emmy LaZerte.
2nd and 9 now. Sting, there's that, good, nice athletic play. And here's another one. Here's Cullum now looking for the first down, fighting for that first down yardage.
It's about a yard short, I think, depending on where they put it.
Right at the midfield stripe. So a nice play by Hamill to corral that snap and get the ball to Cullum. Cullum about a yard short. And there is an injured member of the Voyageurs on the play. We'll get a number for you in just a second. Emmy LaZerte, of course, leads this football game 28-26. It's been a tale of two halves. Here's this replay, John. Good play by Hamill. And another nice one by Cullum.
Good play by Cullum. The only thing there is Cullum was running a little high when he took that first hit, or he might have had the first down. But that being said, you notice how quick he gets upfield. He doesn't mess around with running to the sidelines. As soon as he finds there's a seam, he's going. This is a sign of a very good running back.
Gets behind his pads, and he is not an easy customer to bring down either.
No, and the other thing, you watch how he's carrying the ball again. You see it on the replay. He protects the ball very well. He holds it tight. He's what we call 5 points of contact. He's got all 5 covered, and he's doing a real fine job out there.
Number 22, Nathan Redford of the Voyageurs, shaken up on that play. He, of course, is a big part of the LaZerte defense. He is their free safety and has made several big plays on defense. So the Voyageurs will be watching him closely. 3rd and a long 1.5 here. Let's call it 3rd and 2. Hamill now from midfield need to get to the Voyageur 48-yard line. So here's Hamill out of the shotgun, and he'll roll right. He'll look, throw, and he's got Cullum wide open. First down, Sting, and he'll turn straight up, and that's a big first down for Fort Saskatchewan inside Voyageur territory.
Now, I'm a little surprised that they're allowing Parker Cullum to come through the line. Now, you watch what happens here. Watch him go. And what does he do? They did have the fullback. He just came out from a slot position out there. I understand that. And he not only is a good running back, but he can catch the ball well out of the backfield or out of a slot position.
And that, of course, was the safety who took over for Redford. And now here's Cullum now. And now this Fort Saskatchewan Sting offense is going to ground and pound, John. They're going to, like as we talked about, you talked about at the opener, speed versus size and strength. Well, now Fort Saskatchewan is starting to use that size of the big guys up front, that offensive line, that dominant offensive line, and they're starting to grind it out now.
They are. They're getting into bodies and they're moving their feet. And if you look at the backs, and again, Parker Cullum is doing a great job of finding the seam, getting up it, and getting positive yardage. This wears down defenses.
Fort Saskatchewan on the move here. 1st and 10, handoff to Cullum. He's got room up the middle. First down, Sting. Now he's going to bounce off another tackle. And inside Voyageur territory at about the 14-yard line. So Cullum with another big first down. And you might as well keep feeding Parker Cullum.
Well, and what's making it happen is the offensive line. If we see the replay of this, the Emmy LaZerte defensive line now is standing up. They're not firing low. And they're getting blocked from underneath. And this is what's making these holes open up and widen very good. Where they're stuffing it at the start, they're not now.
Here's Cullum now. Off tackle around the right side. He's going to fight near, and he will have, looks like it's going to be very close to the first down to about the 4-yard line. And there is a flag on the play in the Fort Saskatchewan backfield. And it looks like that one's going to come back on the hole. So Cullum around the right side, and they keep feeding number 27 the ball, but that one comes back on a hold. So that'll bring up a 1st and 20 here.
Now, they've done a pretty good job with their passing game, all right? But they are wearing down that front of LaZerte's tremendously. I would not be a bit surprised if they come right back with Cullum, maybe a little different type of play, or that lead pass and hit the fullback in the flat.
1st and 20 now, 5 minutes to go in the football game. Low snap. Hamill now's just got to shovel it over to Cullum, and Cullum will get back to pickup of about 5 or 6. A bit of a broken play there with that low snap. And of course, as the temperature drops, I mean, right now we're at about -12, -15-ish. It's getting cooler out there, so the ball is going to get hard. And I think, you know, ball's going to get tough. It's going to get slippery. That could be a factor. Cullum is the injured member of the Sting here, and he just, I mean, like you say, when you get down on that field turf and you hit the ground, you're going to feel it.
There's that. I think he's also exhausted.
I think so
he
too.
hasn't been off the field at all this game.
He's probably just thinking, I need a breather here.
Well, I don't know if he feels that, or it's just he feels his legs can't go, his body. On that last play, if you noticed the defensive line again of LaZerte, they're standing up, they're coming, they're tired because they're getting worn out by the offensive line of Fort Saskatchewan Sting. And when Parker made that cut, there was a defensive lineman there who could have tackled him. He never left his feet. He just kind of reached out for him, and he was able to get plus yardage.
Big hand for Parker Cullum as he goes off the field. Sorry, Coach.
No, that's fine, because now you get the situation. If I'm LaZerte, I'm thinking they're going to throw the ball. And, you know, this might not be a bad place where you take a look at Brennan Hamill, and he just takes off himself and runs it.
Here's Hamill now, under 5 minutes to go. Voyageurs lead 28-26. Here's Hamill now, out of the gun. And the play is blown dead. We'll see what the pre-snap whistle just before the ball was snapped. And I think maybe they moved before the play was actually blown in there, Coach.
It could be. It could very well be.
But I mean, with under 5 minutes to go, what a football game, Coach. Tale of two halves, but this has been a fun one.
Oh, it's a great game to watch. You know, a lot of people will tell you, well, GILFILLAN Conference, it's the lower level teams and so on. I couldn't care less, because when you look at what we've seen out here today, we've seen fun football. And the players who are playing in this game are going to remember this game the rest of their lives.
Because you don't forget this. You don't forget playing on this field.
No, not just playing on the field, but the way the game has gone. Both teams have had to make big plays, and they have. Both teams have had to make big plays offensively and defensively, and they've done it. So now as we get toward the last 5 minutes, it's going to be very interesting to see how it ends up.
Big-time players make big plays in big games, and here we go. Fort Saskatchewan now 2nd and about 15. They need to get to about the Voyageur, call it the 3-yard line. So Fort Saskatchewan now 4:43 to go in the football game. Voyageurs lead by 2. Here's Hamill out of the gun. Back in the pocket, there's the slant pattern up the middle. Touchdown, Fort Saskatchewan. Number 25, Avery Lacusta. Wide open right down the middle, Coach.
Well, again, you look at it. They have scored 3 touchdowns through the air, all to the left side of Fort Saskatchewan and to the right side of the defense of Emmy LaZerte. And they're attacking that. They feel that's where the weakness is, and a very nice little slant route, or what we call a quick post route, to Avery Lacusta. Well executed play.
Fort Saskatchewan's first lead of the football game. They're going to with the point after. will fall right after the point after attempt. We'll check, but this is where the scoring gets interesting now. With the touchdown, it's 32-28. We'll check the point after. And it is no good. So it's a 4-point football game with 4:36 to go. And Fort Saskatchewan has their first lead of the football game. Now, it's no secret the Sting know how to play defense, and boy, they're going to have to step up now.
Well, they are, and the big thing is going to be, now, you've noticed, we talked about at the start of this half, how are they going to adjust to what Emmy LaZerte was doing? Well, they widen their ends, and they're going to keep doing that. What can Emmy LaZerte do to handle that? Now, to me, the biggest thing will be a double team on an end, get outside, and if you got a throwback package, look like you're sprinting out, set back up, and throw to the backside. We'll see if they have it in their package. We know their passing game is solid, and they're going to have to use it now.
Here we go, Fort Saskatchewan to kick off with 4:36 to go in the football game. A small but mighty and loud crowd here at Commonwealth Stadium. Good heads-up play by the Voyageurs, not to deaden that football. Here's Watkins, number 14, and he nearly, if he had escaped that tackle from number 34, Kalen Sturmer, Watkins has got a lot of acres in front of him.
You watch this now. Watkins, he slow moves this. You can't do this. You got to go hard. Look how he's cruising. Now when he decides to go, they've closed on him. He could have made that happen a lot just by exploding. He's got excellent speed. He has to use it.
Great shot by Terry, our camera guy, in the end zone. Of course, our crew, the finest in cyberspace. Here we go. London Larrett with a quick pass out into the zone. Fiddler just sat down in the zone, waited, and there it was. So there's about a 6-yard pickup. So the Voyageurs now 2nd and 4. 4 minutes to go in the football game. And at about their 51-yard line, let's call it that. And the Voyageurs now trailing for the first time in this football game, 32-28. Following this onslaught by the Sting. Here's Alvio now. First down. No, not a first down. Alvio tried to cut around, and if he had stayed behind his pads, he would have had the first down. Good open field tackle by Nate McKay, number 20.
Again, the great running backs will get up the field. And he knows what he needed to get for the first down. He wanted the big play.
Just that one extra move.
That's right. All he had to do was turn up. He's only a yard away. He'd have had it. He's not sure exactly where he is on the field, and he thought he could break it.
Now we've got a big play in the football game. 3rd and 1 to go. Just over 3 minutes to go. Here's London Larrett. Bad snap, and now Larrett's got to call his own number, but he will not make it. Number 38. Andrew Paholka, the middle linebacker, with the tackle in the backfield, and that is a big turnover on downs, and it's an unfortunate set of circumstances here for the Voyageurs.
Well, again, the center, Taylor Lanigan, and London Larrett had a problem with the exchange. And this is when you're in short yardage, you have to be able to make these plays. They did not do it. So again, now we're 3 minutes left, and where's the big Mo? Right in Fort Saskatchewan's pocket.
Fort Saskatchewan now can close this one out with with points on this drive. Even a field goal would put them up by a touchdown. Here's Cullum, and a good shoestring tackle by the Voyageurs, or Cullum would have gotten loose into the secondary.
He wasn't. Again, it was a situation where the defense was actually in the right place. Watch this. Now watch him stand up. You see they can't get to him. He breaks that tackle, the first one, and then the linebacker just hangs on and drags. But he gets 5 yards because he keeps his legs moving.
Big 5-yard pickup for the Sting. Cullum has been everything. He's had an interception, and he's just been such a factor here in the second half, and why not? Here he goes again, straight up the middle. Parker Cullum into Voyageur territory with a big first down, but there is a flag on the play.
There are 2 of them, and usually when you see that, it's usually holding.
They're within 5 yards of one another.
Mask.
2 flags within 5 yards. It is holding after the yards are gained, so it is a...
Dead ball foul. Objectionable conduct. Fort Saskatchewan, number 25.
Oh, and that one's going to, you want to talk about a sting, that one stings when you give up an OC penalty.
Well, it is. It's a 15-yard unnecessary penalty, and it's
on number 25, Avery Lacusta, which is kind of shocking, really.
Yeah, I coached a young man from Lacusta, or from Fort Saskatchewan by the name of Corey Lacusta with the Edmonton Huskies, a very fine linebacker. And if he's related, he might have got that from Corey, because he could get those once in a while, too.
1st and 10 now, midfield back. And there's Parker Cullum now, battling and fighting his way into the Voyageur territory, and that's a big sting first down. So Parker Cullum erases all of that trouble with a big first down and a big gain by a guy who has just had a tremendous second half, John.
He has, and again, you look how the line in that of LaZerte standing up. But what does Parker Cullum do? He keeps those legs moving. Now, if I'm Avery Lacusta, I'm going over and giving him a big hug.
You bet.
Because he saved his butt on that play.
Here's Cullum now, breaks the first tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And there's another flag on the play coming in late. But Cullum with the nice play in the backfield to avoid that tackler. And we've got a flag on the far side. And, of course, 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. So this penalty is going to be big, and we'll get our call from the referee.
It's a 15-yard face mask.
Face masking penalty against the Voyageurs, and that's a tough penalty to take with 2 minutes to go and the Sting on the move. And they'll be 1st and 10 at the Voyageur 15-yard line. So that's a big penalty, moves the ball up 15, and the Sting are knocking on the door here. 2 minutes to go, up by 4, handoff Cullum. Around the left side, there's Cullum fighting his way down into the inside the 10-yard line. Be a pickup of about 6, call it 2nd and 4, Fort Saskatchewan. So Parker Cullum, like we said, just keep feeding him the rock.
And you look at this, they blocked this really well. They got the tackle locked up, they got the end locked up. And he comes outside and just keeps those legs driving, and it's eating the clock. Just an excellent job.
Fort Saskatchewan now a little bit shell-shocked in that first half, down 28-7. But what poise and what character by Tyler Hussey's football team to come back. And here's Cullum now straight up the middle. And the Voyageur defense stiffens. That's going to be close to a first down. Well, 2nd and 3, but that's going to be really close, John.
You know, the thing to me is when Parker Cullum looks at this, he's going to be mad at himself. You watch this. He goes here. If he breaks a little bit right here, if he'd have broke off that 52, like go right through him, he would have had the first down for sure. And it's one of those things. But you notice again, we talk about it. He's running low, he's running hard, and those legs keep going. Now, he has played outside of the time he was off, the 3 plays he was off that he had to be off, he's played every down in this game.
And he's handled the ball. I want to see the stats to see how many times he's touched the football in this second half. I don't think he's been involved, like you say, outside of 3 plays. Skylar Cook, the injured Voyageur on the play. That's big number 55 for LaZerte. And he's coming off the field pretty bad ankle on that one. They're going to help him off the field. Hope he's okay. 1:27 to go. Now, John, biggest play of the game right here. Sting up by 4, 32-28, 1:27 to go. 3rd and 1 at the Voyageur 4-yard line. The football game is right here. 1:27 to go. Hamill at quarterback. Under center, not. I mean, Hamill's got the big body. He can almost fall forward for the first down, John.
Well, and there's bubbles there. If they bring their linebackers up and attack and blitz, they might be able to do something. But if they sit back on this, he's just going to go to the bubble, and he'll have the first down. All he has to do is lie down at his size, and he'll get it.
Here we go now. And that's what they do. Hamill leans forward, falls forward, and he has got the first down. So 1st and goal to go now for the Sting with 1:18 to go.
I was a little surprised that LaZerte didn't bring that linebacker hard up in there and just attack it, attack the gap. Yeah, because that, you know, that's where he was going. And the good quarterbacks, that's what they're going to do. They're going to hit where that bubble is.
And Brendan Hamill with that, he's a big kid.
He is.
So he, like we say, he could fall for it. So now 1st and goal to go, up by 4. Final minute of the football game here in the GILFILLAN Conference City Championship. Fort Saskatchewan now. Handoff to the fullback, Jurkowitz, and he tries to barrel his way into the end zone to try and finish this game. He picks up about a couple, so that'll take him down to about the Voyageur 1-yard line.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now you look at the size of Brendan Hamill, and he looks like a fullback. I think at the next level, that's probably where he would play. Fort Saskatchewan has produced very good fullbacks over the years. Zach Willis, who is on their coaching staff right now, is a tremendous fullback out of there, played with the Huskies. Jacob Battenfelder, who's just graduated after 5 years with the Huskies, is good a fullback you'd ever see out of Fort Saskatchewan.
And tough as nails. Jake Battenfelder is about as tough as you'll find in Canadian. I mean, he's retired. I mean, it's hard to say about a young kid who's retired, but he's completed his tour of duty with the Huskies after 5 years. But Jake Battenfelder is about as tough as they come.
He is, and but that's the history at Fort Saskatchewan. And, you look at the young fullback they have in there now. I don't know what his year is, but when you look at him, I mean, Foster Jurkowitz, he's a big, strong kid, too. So they produce good fullbacks here.
Here we go now. Sting, 2nd and goal to go from the 1-yard line of Emmy LaZerte, up by 4. Here's Hamill. He's going to call his own number on the sneak. Will he get in? Yes, he will. Touchdown, Fort Saskatchewan. 56 seconds to go, and the Sting are on their way to the GILFILLAN Conference City Championship. What a comeback by the Sting here in this second half, and particularly in the third quarter. John, what a performance.
Well, it's been 37 unanswered points. And, 31, and we'll see what happens on the field goal here. It's going to be the 38 or 37 unanswered points, 31 unanswered points in the game. And it's a tribute to them to come back, and they did it playing their game. They didn't try to do anything fancy.
And the point after is good, and that'll make your score the Fort Saskatchewan Sting 39, the Emmy LaZerte Voyageurs 28. And if you're Emmy LaZerte, you know that you're going up against the toughest team in your conference. You've played them. You got out to that quick start and had a tremendous first half. But if you're Emmy LaZerte, you're proud of the way you played in the first half, but you're kind of disappointed with the way things went in the second, obviously.
Well, and to me, there was one big play in the second half. The Emmy LaZerte Voyageurs has just got a first down. They took a 15-yard penalty, and that absolutely broke the momentum. And the next drive, Fort Saskatchewan, they got the ball back in a punt and drove it in for a touchdown, and the point spread was on. And they've definitely been worthy of what's happened in this second half and just played extremely well.
Here's Watkins, number 14, on the kick return, and he gets out to the Emmy LaZerte 50-yard line with 49 seconds left. Now, in the history of football, we've seen miracles before, but we're going to have to see practically an act of God here for Emmy to turn this around. But you just never know in playoff football. But in this case, Fort Saskatchewan has come out in this second half. We talked about their record, the perfect record. They gave up, they haven't given up a point until tonight. But what resiliency on Tyler Hussey's, not only resiliency to come back and fight back, but the adjustments they made in the second half, John.
Well, especially the adjustments, what they did with their ends. And I think that was a big part of it. But here's the other thing that I think is the biggest part. The players they count on, Parker Cullum, Brendan Hamill. You look at Avery Lacusta. The players that they count on came up huge. Pouliot, I mean, they all came up. That's right. They all came up big in this half and made the plays they had to make.
And there's another kid who has left it all out on the field tonight. That's Foster Jurkowitz, the fullback. We've talked about him, and he's had a tremendous game, and it's tough to see him go off the field that way, but I'll tell you, he played the entire, up until the last 49 seconds. Foster Jurkowitz was a force on this team, whether it was blocking and pass coverage or catching the football out of the backfield. Foster Jurkowitz has had an outstanding game for the Sting. But here we go. Final 49 seconds. Voyageurs down by 11 here as the Sting took over in this second half, and flags fly, and it is an illegal procedure call against the Voyageurs.
And right now, Fort Saskatchewan knows where that play is going to be. It was going to be a tailback pass, and we'll see if they come back with that. Interesting to talk about Jurkowitz going off like that, and he's played very well, as we've said, and you know, catching the ball in the flat off those lead pass plays, and did a real good job. But I will guarantee you tonight that he will be healthy enough to go party.
Well, that's right.
I will guarantee
it doesn't yeah, that's right. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt after this one.
No.
Here we go now. Voyageurs, 48 seconds to go. There's London Larratt, and as you said, there's that halfback pass, and it's over to London Larratt. Now he's going to lateral it somewhat forward, and that'll be. I guess that'll be an incomplete pass.
It's an incomplete pass because Larratt, when he threw it, he did throw it forward.
Okay.
But I didn't see receivers downfield down here.
No.
They stopped on a hitch out here, and it should have been a hitch and go.
What are you going to do with this now?
Yeah, well, I think he wanted to hitch and go, but there was no go with a hitch.
Yeah, that's right. And that play doesn't work without one or the other.
No.
So you bet. Here we go with the long 2nd and 15 for Emmy LaZerte here, 38 seconds to go. You got a feel for the Voyageurs. They played so well in the first half and came up short in the second. Here's a pass intended for Jemani Watkins. That falls incomplete. Number 37, Josh Wright with the coverage on the play for the Sting. And Watkins has had a tremendous game for the Voyageurs. Ryan Lyken's got to be proud of his football team. They knew that they had a tough game ahead of them. They came out and played really, really well in the first half, but in this second half, Fort Saskatchewan just sort of took over.
They did, and as we said, there was a couple of mistakes by LaZerte where they were moving the ball, then they got a penalty or so, and then bad things started to happen. And Fort Saskatchewan took total advantage of it. There's a good
deep ball right there, and a big collision.
And an interception.
And an interception there by, we'll get the number, Taryn Fiddler took a shot.
Well, that's a safety, and
but that's
either Chase Pouliot or it's Nate Oates, so we'll have a look.
We'll take a quick peek here, but I believe both players hurt on that play. That was a tremendous collision. That is Pouliot.
Yeah.
And Pouliot has literally been throwing his body around the field all night. But watch his collision, John. That is a big-time shot. And
but
both guys felt that one.
They did, and both guys. Both guys focused on the ball. Pouliot got to the ball first. This is something that we talk about with our quarterbacks, that there's a safety coming across. When you roll out like that, you're going to have a safety coming over. You've got to prepare to put that ball outside. You cannot put it inside your receiver. You're going to get him killed. And this is one thing, again, Larratt is a fairly inexperienced quarterback. He doesn't understand that concept, I don't think, well. Again, the thing that LaZerte had, I don't see in their package that they haven't shown, there was nothing there to throw back to hold the safety. So the safeties just can keep flying over.
Nice to see both Pouliot and Fiddler get up after that one. Both of them badly shaken up after that collision with 24 seconds to go here in the football game. And we want to thank our entire crew here at ICU Video. Rob Zitlaw, our executive producer. Matt, Dave, Connor, Alex, Terry Fearless Farina back there in the end zone. At least at Huskies and Wildcats games, Terry's usually dodging footballs.
Oh, that's right. But the nice thing,
you can't get it. No one's ever been able to put a ball up there yet. So Terry's safe tonight.
Well, and the other part of it is the wind's not blowing in his face tonight like it was last Friday. So it's a little bit easier. He's not going to have frostbite tonight.
That's right. Boy, I'll tell you, Terry's fought everything in the last couple of years. Lightning, rain, footballs, a little bit of wind. That's why we call him fearless. Here we go. Here we go with Fort Saskatchewan taking a knee. And the Fort Saskatchewan Sting are going to close out this football game. Brendan Hamill will take one more knee as we get set to crown the 2017 GILFILLAN Conference City Champions are the Fort Saskatchewan Sting with a 39-28 victory over the LaZerte Voyageurs. Congratulations to head coach Tyler Hussey of the Sting as they complete a perfect season. And John, aren't you glad you got out of coaching before they started doing that?
No,
you've been doused a couple of times?
No, but you know what? I got out of being a head coach when I saw that coming, and now I'm up in the, in the box.
Well, yeah.
I used to let Mike McLean get all those baths, and I just sat up there and watched it happen.
Good for you.
And but the kids have a lot of fun with these things, and the coaches have a lot of fun with it.
Well, congratulations to Tyler Hussey, of course, his offensive coordinator, Steve Stuber, his entire coaching staff, Ronnie Ennis, Zach Willis, Joe McGrath, Sean Wright, Marco Contenti, and the offensive assistants, Nash Coward and Ryan Chapman. Congratulations to the entire Fort Saskatchewan Sting Football Club, and we sure want to also offer some congratulations to the LaZerte Voyageurs for an outstanding season. They went 3-1 on the season, finished second behind the Sting, and we'll have the presentation here. But what a football game, John. This was a thriller. I mean, it was a tale of two halves. Of course, ME came out in that first half, threw the ball extremely well, marched up and down the field, took a 28-7 lead. But then Fort Saskatchewan, as you mentioned, speed in the first half, strength in the second, and it was all Parker Cullum and that offensive line up front that really did the job for Fort Saskatchewan.
It was, and you look at the passes that they threw, they were a lot of slant passes, and they worked. They found a weakness in the secondary of LaZerte, and it was the right half, right corner. They found that they could attack it, and they did. That's where they went the entire second half.
And here's one of the best traditions in high school sports here in Edmonton. Of course, you can battle all night, but it's great to see these kids do the handshake, and of course the Sting completing that perfect season. And I mean, there's certainly some disappointment on the Voyageurs sideline, but they have nothing to hang their heads about. They should be very proud of not only their season but this football game. But the Sting here complete the perfect season, and Tyler Hussey is obviously one excited guy, and that's an very excited group of football players down there. And congratulations, this GILFILLAN Conference. Of course, the GILFILLAN Conference is made up of the schools with the smallest population in the capital region. But there's a lot of Iron Men down there on the field, and it was just a fantastic night and just a ton of talent out there.
Well, it was a fun game because you saw every aspect of the game. You saw power running, you saw good play action passing, and you saw speed.
And now let's send things down to the field for the presentation of the trophies and medals.
If we could draw your attention to midfield, we will commence with the presentations. Metro Athletics would like to recognize the winner of the 2017 GILFILLAN Division Halliburton Award for the most valuable player this season. Each team nominated one player for the award, and coaches voted on the division winner. The nominees for the award were Isaac Sefcik from Beaumont, Georges Arujo from Blessed Oscar Romero, Parker Callum from Fort Saskatchewan, Will Capocici from Holy Trinity, Philippe Beatty from J. Percy Page, Eric Make from Lillian Osborne, Germani Watkiss from LaZerte, Sebastian Auger from Queen Elizabeth, Jaden Gibault from St. Joseph, and Marcus Verheyen of W.P. Wagner. The 2017 GILFILLAN Division Halliburton Award winner is Germani Watkiss from LaZerte. Presenting Germani with his trophy is Mike Moore of the Edmonton Eskimos. Congratulations, Germani, on an excellent season. We'll now turn our attention to to the presentation of the gold and silver medallions along with the championship trophy. The official party presenting the medallions and plaques, and joining us on the field are Mike Moore and Kobina Asari of the Edmonton Eskimos, Hayden Erickson, Orange Therapy Fitness Sherwood Park manager. At this time, we'd like to present the GILFILLAN Conference finalists, LaZerte Voyageurs, with their silver medallions.
Kevin Donnan and John Belmont for ICU Video back here as we're taking a look at the medal presentations of the silver medallions being handed out to LaZerte. And Coach, let's go over some of the stats in what was a very entertaining and fun football game to close out the 2017 high school season. So take us through some of those stats, John.
Well, let's take a look at the net offense. First of all, LaZerte had 310 yards in the first half, 98 in the second. When you look at Fort Saskatchewan, they had 154 in the first half, 361 in the second.
Tale of two halves.
For 515 yards. And that's in 12-minute quarters.
And Fort Saskatchewan's not a team known for putting up, I mean, they have a respectable offense, but they're not known for putting up, scoring in bunches either.
No, and you look at the rushing. This is the balance of Fort Saskatchewan showed. 168 yards in the second half, 111 in the first half for 279 rushing. In the first half, they only had 55 yards passing, but 200 in the second half for 255. And what's interesting about that is they only, on passes, they only threw in the second half 10 passes, but they completed 8 of them.
There you go.
80% level in the first half, it was 2 for 8. And then you look at LaZerte in the first half. What were they? 16 for 19 in the first half, 4 for 12 in the second.
So we were talking about in the first half, London Laird had the hot hand, and then suddenly Brendan Hamill took it back, seized that momentum back from the quarterback position, and Brendan Hamill got hot.
He got hot, and again, I think the Fort Saskatchewan coaches did a nice job finding weaknesses in the first half in the defense of LaZerte, and they attacked it. And you notice how much they used their running backs, for example. You look at Parker Callum, I mean, he had 264 yards rushing. And that's only in 25 carries. Longest gain is 61, 2 touchdowns.
Well, Parker Cullum had a second half that, we talked about playing at Commonwealth is a thrill. And it's an unforgettable game. It's an unforgettable scene. But Parker Cullum will never forget this game. He'll never forget this moment. And he'll never forget the night that he carried the rock throughout the second half.
Well, that's exactly right. And for the amount that he played on defense. He played all over the place.
And a big interception in the corner, too. Parker Cullum made a game-changing interception. If LaZerte scores on that touchdown, if they complete that pass in the end zone, we may be talking about the Voyageurs here pulling off one of the biggest upsets of the season.
We could very well be doing that. And again, when London Laird sees that, the film, you'll see he had a receiver underneath that he could have hit. But instead, he went deep the corner, and Parker Callum played it beautifully.
Medal presentations going on here down at field level. The gold medallions, and of course, want to applaud this crowd here, this small but mighty crowd here who have, the temperature at game time is at about -9. It's probably about -15 right about now, but hats off to this crowd and to these players who, it's bitterly cold out there, but they're not feeling it right now. And overall, like I say, both of these teams have had tremendous seasons as we see the medallion presentation, the trophy presentation, and let's send things to our PA announcer.
Picks up the championship trophy, along with the banner that's emblematic of supremacy in the GILFILLAN Conference for 2017.
And here they are. There are your 2017 GILFILLAN Conference City Champions, the Fort Saskatchewan Sting. Of course, conference named for Jim GILFILLAN, the legendary football coach in Edmonton. And let's take a look. Let's get a nice shot of this celebration. And John, you've been on championship teams, and there's no feeling like it. It's a real brotherhood now. A little late for first block.
No, I think they party through the night and show up the first block.
That's right. Well, you know, when you're young, you can do that sort of thing. You just bounce back like nothing. But what a performance. There's Parker Cullum, number 27. And, you know, he's getting a big hug from his coaching staff. There's Brendan Hamill and Cullum together. And Matt's got a shot at that. And, you know, that was the dynamic duo of this second half. Hamill, you know, back there, really poised, really calm, really collected, and then it was just the Parker Cullum show in the second half, and a great performance. I mean, look at the Fort Saskatchewan defense shut out every team in the regular season and playoffs, and then they decided, okay, in the second half, nobody's scoring.
Well, there's that, and then you add to the fact that a group of people that everybody forgets, and we kind of do too. The offensive line of Fort Saskatchewan did an admirable job of blocking, and they opened some very good holes for Parker Cullum, so it really helped them out.
And what a performance by the Fort Saskatchewan Sting here. And, of course, we want to throw out congratulations to the LaZerte Voyageurs. And that will do it, football fans. We would like to thank you for joining us here tonight on this ICU video live stream presentation of the Edmonton Metro Athletic GILFILLAN Conference City Championship game. On behalf of the coach, John Belmont, our executive producer, Rob Zitlaw, and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Donnan for ICU Video, and we want to thank you for joining us. The final score in the GILFILLAN Conference City Championship game, the Fort Saskatchewan Sting 39, the LaZerte Voyageurs 28. Good night from Commonwealth Stadium.